even guest rooms which he rents out, as well as a toilet and a jacuzzi, complete with snacks. On the day we met him, he was putting his home back together after a sidewalk power wash. He offered to give us an interview, for a donation, that is.
Could I get a donation for this?
A donation? We declined his offer.
He has been warned numerous times. It has been documented. He has denied housing.
But there's only so much city workers can do.
There are some restrictions that LAPD faces due to lawsuits.
But as you can see in this photo, there is no sidewalk left. And so anybody who's trying to use 39th Street to get to the park, to get to a museum, to get to the Coliseum for a sporting event, has to walk into the street.
On this day, his domestic setup was not quite complete, but even so, some of his belongings rolled into the street, causing a bit of a roadblock and commotion. Many residents have already complained about this encampment. But most homeless residents agree there is no glamour in living on the street. Paul says he's trying to get himself and his fiancée into housing. So you work?
Yeah, I do security. I refuse to stay in this position.
Yeah.
I refuse.
For now, cleaning and spraying up the sidewalk serves as a compromise in the tug of war between those who walk or drive these streets and those who use them as their home. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
As LA Sanitation works to meet the needs of all LA residents, the department is also moving full speed ahead with a new program that seeks to make those residents and our city more sustainable by changing the way trash is collected and processed. Rasha Goel explains.
Recycling in LA is about to get a major overhaul. City leaders recently approved a $3.5 billion waste hauling contract, which will split up the pickup duties among 7 waste haulers. These haulers ensure that more trash is recycled and less trash is sent to landfills.
We're hauling in 3 zones within the city of Los Angeles, and our role will be to collect commercial recycling from commercial businesses as well as multifamily dwellings within the city of Los Angeles.
Athens Services is among the haulers that are part of the Zero Waste LA program, which is designed to address the 3 million tons of waste disposed annually by businesses and all of us.
We're moving to an exclusive franchise system for the collection of recyclables and solid waste from all commercial businesses.
The new system will replace an uneven and hodgepodge system where recycling, work conditions, and customer pricing and service varied from company to company. To help with the workload, LA Sanitation is encouraging small business owners to get on board as subcontractors.
Today's meet and greet is the first of 9 events designed to allow potential subcontractors to meet with our Zero Waste LA franchise contractors.
Officials say these meetings give small businesses an opportunity to network and participate in the city's larger projects.
Today we're here to meet Athens, to build a relationship and network with them, to understand how they are going to help small businesses and subcontract with them.
The remaining meetings are being held this week. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
For more on LA Sanitation's meet and greets or for more information on the Zero Waste LA, call 213-485-2890. Well, what do you do with outdated computers? Well, you upgrade them for people in need. That's what the city has done, and families in parts of the valley are the latest to benefit. Gil Reyes reports.
Luisa Montejano brings home her family's new computer, and it's free.
It's going to help all of us because we don't have one. So this is something good for my kids.
Families in North Hollywood and Studio City, the latest to benefit from the city's Our Cycle LA program. Our Cycle takes outdated city department computers and instead of throwing them away, refurbishes them for families in need.
The city hired the nonprofit group Human IT to do the repairs.
Not only will have Windows 10, but a full office suite as well. We upgraded the inside this time around, so more RAM, faster processor, so faster machine, better overall experience for the end users.
The city's Information Technology Agency, or ITA, launched the program 2 years ago. Since then, several communities have received the technology, with more to come.
In 2017, we can expect to distribute an additional 1,000 computers to families and children in need. Here we are in 2017. We're at a time where the internet is not just a luxury, it's essential to how people get work done, how they're educated, how they start businesses.
Councilman Paul Krikorian represents this section of the valley. Around 100 computers are handed out today.
Not having access to a computer is like not having access to a pencil and paper would have been when I was growing up. It's just impossible for kids to get an education and to participate in the economy of the 21st century unless they get some exposure to computers. But we know that for far too many families in Los Angeles, that's just not really accessible to them. And so that's why we've worked through many of the nonprofits, the faith community, our schools,
to identify those who need them most, like the LAPD's Jeopardy after-school program for at-risk youth.
They do a lot of activities, and part of it is doing homework, and we needed computers for that center, so this was a perfect fit.
We thank Paul Krikorian's office for that and all that they do to help programs like ours in the community.
Helping to bridge the digital divide. In North Hollywood, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Heading over to the LA Convention Center as the LA Art Show recently rolled into town for the 14th time, and it just keeps growing. Anna Marcos brings us the latest on LA's biggest art show.
LA is already a trendsetter as a car culture and a movie mecca, so why not as an art maker? What started out as an art lover's pipe dream 14 years ago with 250 visitors is now drawing record crowds of as many as 70,000 people. And this year's LA Art Show is bigger and better than ever.
LA's really responding to art, and in the last couple of years have really been attracted to the show.
Among the novel things this year, Chinese ink drawings and Tansei Kwa, a Korean art that is blowing up everywhere. There is also a growing Latin American section, which includes performance art like this. It symbolizes our current immigration woes. This artist performs naked on a clay bed with drops falling on his head.
He was performing there as a part of the desert and working with the idea of the borders, and can be about crossing borders, about immigration, especially in this area.
Is that what the clay means?
Yes, is the sand, is the desert, yes.
And then there's this tranny virtual reality experience.
This is the multi-sensory installation Be Boy Be Girl. And in Be Boy Be Girl you can experience what it is to be or a boy or a girl. So you can choose what gender you are.
Artwork like this, a sign of our times. In this case, are two major political parties eating each other alive. Video paintings like this run on a continuous loop and are getting more and more popular because you can frame and mount them on a wall using a computer or now, even an iPad.
Well, I love the movement. I love the colors. I love the ramifications, the meaning of it.
Well, I think what's important today is emotion. And I believe that art creates emotion. It creates hope. It creates curiosity. It creates happiness. And especially today, we need that in such an uncertain world.
Whether you like multimedia, mural scenes, recreations, performance art, sculpture, or just plain old art on a wall, the LA Art Show keeps showcasing the latest and trendiest of art in an ever-changing culture. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
And this is the first year that local museums also participated in the LA Art Show with exhibits of their own. Well, over on the west side, it was another annual event, but this one brings LA kids together to compete in a friendly game of ball while honoring a civil rights leader. Gil Reyes takes us there.
For players like Arlene Arevalo, the experience is beyond fun.
Because you get to meet other people and also you get to bond with other people, not just with your teammates.
Children from different communities playing on the same side at the 8th annual Dream Games. More than 100 kids are drafted onto combined teams and learn that differences in gender, ethnicity, religion, and economic status all disappear when the whistle blows. Arlene's dad is a big supporter of the Dream Games, honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Get all communities together, work together for a better world, yeah. And that was his dream, and we're glad to be participating in this, be part of his dream.
And will we celebrate the diversity throughout the city by bringing kids together and making sure that they play with kids that they ordinarily wouldn't have a chance to play with.
We see more affluent kids from West LA teaming with kids from South LA. Latino youth from Cypress Park passing the ball to African American children from Leimert Park. And they're all having fun. The nonprofit group Friends of West LA and the Department of Recreation and Parks organized the tournament.
I'd like to think that the dream is starting to become a reality, and Rec and Parks is part of that, because there's a vision and then there's a dream, but there's also the making it beyond a dream and making it something real, and I think this is something that's real.
Making great strides on an even playing field. At the Dream Games in Westwood, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
To get the game schedule or learn how to participate, call the Westwood Recreation Center at 310-473-3610. Well, Martin Luther King was also recognized on the other side of town as volunteers gathered to give back to one local school. Anna Marcos has more.
A good warm-up never hurts when you're revving up for a full day of volunteering in the name of Martin Luther King Jr.
I think just that power of community, and I think that's really embodied by the ideals of King, for people to come together, young and old, different backgrounds, different beliefs, but to come together in the idea that service can make a difference.
Many people think of today as a day off, but we all know, everybody in this room, that today is a day on.
More than 700 volunteers joined the group City Year for a Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. They helped spruce up and paint Crenshaw High School in South LA on a day commemorating the late civil rights leader.
Studies have shown that when students can come to a beautiful campus to learn, they're more engaged and they do better in school. So today we're going to come beautify the school.
But City Year does a lot more than make schools pretty. It's got an even bigger goal to help students stay in school.
So the whole goal is really to help reduce the high school dropout rate around the United States. And the way that we do that is we get a committed group of young idealistic people for a year to serve in schools as tutors, mentors, and role models, working directly with those students who are at risk.
I think it's really important that the kids here know that they're important and that they're valued, even in communities where it might not seem like that.
Today, it may seem like it's just a bit of paint here and there, but the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service helps spotlight the power of volunteering, whether it's for a day or for a life, and how it builds stronger communities. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
And it wasn't just Crenshaw High getting the beauty treatment. A nearby South LA neighborhood also got a good sprucing up as residents came out to help make their community a better place. Rasha Goel has more on folks who didn't mind getting their hands dirty for a good cause.
A lot of people who work hard who are still not able to, do home improvements. And these types of organizations that come out to the communities, I think it's a wonderful thing.
Ileana Dillard's home is among those receiving some TLC and home improvement. She feels fortunate to have the added help.
My husband, Glenn, was getting ready to, try to do some things around the house. He passed away last year, so now it's just me, my son, and my daughter. And so I feel very blessed to have this.
It's all part of South LA Neighborhood Pride Day to revitalize the community and help improve the quality of life for residents.
What we're doing today is beautifying a block, doing some house painting, minor repair work, planting some garden beds.
It's super cool working together and painting and gardening, and it's super fun.
The Neighborhood Housing Services of LA County brought together the volunteers to clean up the Canterbury Knolls section of South LA. These events are held once a quarter and done with multiple partnerships.
We're happy to be here with NHS and all the organizations, the police department, fire department, everybody helping us out and getting this work done.
Homes are selected based on their condition and maintenance.
It takes all of us to make a community great, and we see Neighborhood Pride Day as a catalyst for that, as a tool that we can use to encourage people to participate, get engaged, stay involved. For the low-income families that we're assisting, they probably wouldn't do these repairs if we didn't come and help do them.
It's good to see our people out here doing stuff. It feels good.
It's just really nice that we can help this community and make it look prettier.
Pride Day also encourages residents to learn about existing resources and programs that can help them buy, fix, or keep their home. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Other Pride Day events have taken place in Compton, Pacoima, and Sun Valley. Well, after years of delay, a new Frank Gehry development may soon be taking shape in downtown LA. A family-owned business steeped in local tradition is recognized by City Council, and we are pleased to unveil a new look for our City Council meetings coverage. All these stories in City Beat. An elaborate commercial and residential development designed by Frank Gehry could finally get off the ground after a Chinese builder put $290 million into the venture. The complex is planned to be built across the street from Gehry's signature Walt Disney Concert Hall. Construction of the Grand Avenue complex of condominiums, apartments, shops, restaurants, and a hotel has been delayed several times since 2004. But this time, with help from the Chinese subsidiary, Related will finally be able to proceed with construction on the $1 billion project expected to begin next year. A family-owned business was recognized by City Council for its contributions to the Los Angeles community. San Antonio Winery, run by the Riboli family, remains the longest and largest producing winery in Los Angeles. With 100 years and 4 generations of winemaking under its belt, it remains an essential component of the city's cultural and historical landscape. Still at its original location on Lamar Street in Lincoln Heights, it is one of the last few wineries still in operation, representing the rich winemaking tradition of Greater LA.
For 100 years, Angelinos have been walking into San Antonio Winery and have been made to feel at home by a family who has welcomed them into their home.
We're also proud to say we're Angelinos. We're proud that the Angelinos and the immigrants of Los Angeles have supported us through all these years.
Viewers were introduced to upgraded City Council meeting video coverage this past week on LA City View Channel 35 as the equipment used to cover LA City Council meetings was replaced over the recent holiday recess. 8 new high-definition cameras, along with a new control room, were installed and tested in just a few short weeks. The new system, along with refreshed graphics and a new City Council opening, debuted at the first City Council meeting of 2017. You can catch the new look for the LA City Council meetings live right here on LA City View Channel 35 or online at lacityview.org. Celebrate the traditions of downtown LA during the 3rd annual Night on Broadway. Enjoy all your favorite museums as they open their doors at no charge. And gear up in blue for the annual Dodgers Fan Fest. All this in this week's Things to Do. Councilmember Jose Huizar's successful Night on Broadway will take over downtown Los Angeles for the 3rd year in a row. The festival offers something for all Angelinos and is expected to eclipse last year's attendance of more than 60,000 people. A mile-long stretch of Broadway between 3rd and Olympic Boulevard will be closed off and transformed for the free event, offering music, games, and activities for kids and adults, art installations, and one-of-a-kind experiences featuring hundreds of acts, including performances on 10 stages in the street and in 6 of Broadway's historic theaters. Night on Broadway takes place on Saturday, January 28th from 4 to 11 p.m. For more, visit nightonbroadway.la. Clear your calendar for Museums Free-for-All. More than 24 museums in the LA area will offer free admission, not including specially ticketed exhibitions or parking, allowing local residents an amazing opportunity to check out the culture of their city free of charge. You can see anything from art to natural history and science. Participants for this year include many locations that are not normally free, such as the Natural History Museum, LACMA, MoCA, and Descanso Gardens, along with museums that regularly offer free admission, such as both Getty campuses and the Broad. For more, visit SoCalMuseums.org. Beat the winter blues by putting on your Dodger blues and head to Dodger Stadium for Fan Fest. Highlights include autograph sessions with current and former Dodger players and coaches, on-stage player interviews, great photo opportunities, LADF yard sale, interactive activities, and games for fans of all ages. The Fan Fest takes place on Saturday, January 28th from 10 to 4 p.m. Admission and parking is free, but you have to download a ticket to get in. Visit Dodgers.com/FanFest. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
Emergency, operator 271.
The City of Los Angeles receives over 2 million 911 calls every year. Hello, I'm Mayor Eric Garcetti.
I'm Chief Charlie Beck. A significant number of 911 calls are not emergencies.
911 should be used for emergency calls, such as preservation of life, a crime in progress, prevention of a crime, or a public hazard.
If your call is not an emergency, such as a loud party, verbal dispute, public nuisance, or lost or missing property, you can dial 1-877-ASK-LAPD to have the police respond.
Remember, call 1-877-ASK-LAPD for non-emergency calls.
Los Angeles Police Department, what are you reporting?
I got you something very special for our first anniversary. Now close your eyes. Surprise! It's an emergency preparedness kit! Isn't it great? It's got food, water, first aid kit, and this neat emergency tool for shutting off utilities. Honey, we are going to be prepared for any emergency. Honey? Sweetie? I have one more surprise. This really cool cranking flashlight.
Get the message? Be prepared.
Don't worry, Patty. This isn't going to hurt me one bit. Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Shapiro in beautiful Encino, and you're watching LA City View, Channel 35. Our city, our channel.
Good morning. Shh. If I could ask you to please take your seats. Today is Wednesday, January 25th. I want to welcome you to your Los Angeles City Hall. This council meets every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. The public is welcome. Mr. Clerk, we have a quorum. Why don't we get started? Call a roll.
Blumenfield, Bonabuscaino, Cedillo, Engler, Harris, Dawson, Weezer, Koretz, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rube, Wesson, 11 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Koretz moves. Mr. Rue seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Harris Dawson moves and Mr. Englander seconds. Continue.
Mr. President, the Department of Building and Safety recommends that items 1A, 1B, 1D, 1I, and 1O be continued to February 28, and that items 1M, 1T, and 1W be received and filed inasmuch as the liens have been paid in full. And finally, that item 1U be reduced to $2,335.12 due to partial payment.
Okay, so without objection, that shall be the order. Continue.
Mr. President, item 1 is an item noticed for public hearing.
Do we have cards on that item?
Yes, sir, we do.
Let's hold that and move on.
Very good. Items 2 through 14 are items for which public hearings have been held.
Members, we're holding 14. Members, any other items? Okay, let's hold that item and prepare to vote on the remaining items. Madam Clerk, open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
And, Mr. President, those ordinances, items 4 and 5, will go over 1 week for a second read unless reconsidered later today with 12 members.
Okay, well, we should have 12 today. When that happens, Mr. Clerk, remind me. We'll reconsider, and then we'll take care of those issues.
Very good, sir.
Continue.
Item 15 is an item for which a public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, that item is now before this body. Do we have cards?
Yes, sir, card.
Continue.
Mr. President, that takes council back to presentations or items called special.
All right, why don't Why don't I? There he is. Mr. Cedillo, why don't we start off with a presentation? It's a very appropriate way to start off a very special council meeting. So, Mr. Gilbert Cedillo, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Excuse me. Before I get up here in the batter's box. Mr. President, you know I love to talk about the Dodgers. I love me some Dodgers. 1960, 61, 62, 63, 64, all those great teams, Maury Wills, Dick Tracewski, Willie Davis, Tommy Davis, Frank Howard, Jim Gilliam. Who did I miss? Sweet Lou Johnson. I love Sweet Lou. Sweet Lou's still working. Who else? Ron Peronoski, Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale. Who was our fourth pitcher? No, you're talking kids. You're talking Little League. You're talking Little League, brother. I'm talking old school. Anyway, as all of us know, we are all huge Dodger fans. And one of the great things about the city, one great thing about our nation, is to be able to grow up in Boyle Heights, go to Roosevelt High School, the same school Willie Davis went to, be a Dodger fan, have your father drive you up through the backside, through the routes that nobody knew, and come into the Dodger games. I remember there was not security like we have now, and I had a cousin who used to live in the projects. He was a little more adventurous than I was, and we'd get in those stairwells and end up in the dugout. I'd be like, oh, I got a sense we don't belong here. Anyway, we're here because the Dodgers are the team of our city. We love them. But one of the great things we love about the Dodgers and sports is that it's a vehicle for teaching leadership. And that's what Little League is. That's what Pop Warner football is, soccer, all these great sports, basketball, et cetera. They are vehicles for teaching leadership. And the way you do that is you get people focused on a goal. You get them focused on metrics to measure. You get them focused on teamwork. And then through that, you build leadership. And it's those types of experiences that all of us sitting around the dais have had and that have put us to this position. Because not all of us can be Dodgers. But there are those who can be a Dodger. And we have the ultimate Dodger leader here with us today. He is none other than Dave Roberts. He had an incredible career. I'm not surprised, and my notes say here that he becomes the first minority manager of the Dodgers. This is a team of Jackie Robinson. I mean, this is about changing the world. And so to have Dave Roberts here with us today is to have a continuity of a tradition of leadership, of challenging the norms and committing ourselves to excellence. So I'm all off notes here. I have nowhere close to it. I'm just speaking from the heart. And I want to commend you for your incredible leadership, Mr. President. You know, my Lord, you're a man for the future of L.A.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, Mr. President, I didn't realize Dave Roberts is African American and Asian American.
Well, you learn something new every day.
I learn something new every day.
Mr. President, that's right.
He is a man for the future of L.A. This is our Los Angeles Dodger Manager of the Year, the National League. I want to introduce Dave Roberts. This has been, I'm sure you feel the same way, Mr. Krikorian. I know Paul Koretz feels the same way. For us who spent, and I spent 15 years in Sacramento. We were in Sacramento, and then we'd come back, Sacramento, come back. It's not the same of being in L.A. every day. Because when we're in L.A. every day, that means we can sneak in a Dodger game, you know. And being the council member, it's my civic duty to go to a Dodger game.
Absolutely.
When somebody criticizes me, I tell them, you know, those are my constituents, so I have to be there. And so, as you know, Mr. President, it's very special to have Dave Roberts here. He's been a great leader for our team, a very special human being. So I'm going to introduce him and stop talking and get out of the way like I do with the rest of my great staff. I'd like to mention that July 6th is going to be Dave Roberts' bobblehead night. And for me, he's going to join Sandy Koufax, Vin Scully, and Fernando Valenzuela in my office. You're next.
Give him a round of applause.
Dave Roberts! Dave Roberts! And so to bring him on, let's do Let's Go Dodgers. Let's go Dodgers. Let's go Dodgers. Let's go Dodgers. Dave Roberts, everybody.
All right.
Now that is hands down the best introduction I've ever received or ever can imagine. Councilmember Cedillo, thank you very much. Thank you so much, and I do have some notes, but I am going to go off script because there are things that I don't want to omit, but it is certainly more importantly to speak from the heart, and Councilmember Cedillo is all about heart, and I really thank you for that. And I'd like to thank the entire City Council for your kind words and your hospitality. Thank you for always being a part of this great city. I'm honored and humbled by this recognition. Serving as Dodgers manager for the first time last year was a dream come true. The team, the coaches, the staff, and the fans made it the most memorable year of my life. This recognition is dedicated to all our fans and the great people who live and work in the city of Los Angeles. Season after season, they show up at Dodger Stadium and root us on. And even if they don't make it out to the stadium, they touch our lives, and we touch theirs, sometimes in unexpected ways. We are part of each other's story, and the Dodgers see it as our duty to uplift our communities. In fact, this is the soul of our annual Dodgers Love LA Community Tour, which is taking place all week and will culminate with the Fan Fest on Saturday at the stadium. Los Angeles is a place where opportunity thrives, and with your continued support, this city will continue to flourish. Thank you again, Los Angeles City Council, for this honor. We look forward to bringing home the trophy this year. So that's what I kind of wanted to make sure I got out to everyone, and to go off script a little bit. Councilmember Cedillo, and we're talking about the heart and leadership. And for me, I've said it time and time again, this is a dream job. And I think that it's a dream job not only because of this great city and the great fans and the great people that are part of this city. It's an amazing organization with amazing tradition. But I look at this as being a steward. And we all have an opportunity in our own respects to lead and to do our part. And so for me to be the manager of the Dodgers and in some ways be somewhat of a face of the organization to help lead these young men into the communities and understand that it's not only holds a high responsibility to be a major league player when you're have a platform, but to be a Los Angeles Dodger and the responsibility that it is to carry yourself a certain way on the field and even more importantly off the field. And that, with the Dodgers organization and Naomi right here, Rodriguez, just leading the way, and everyone in the organization just understand the importance it is for the Dodgers to reach out and to connect with the city of Los Angeles. So, members of the council, thank you very much for having me. And this honor doesn't go lightly. It's something that I will treasure. And to the people of Los Angeles, thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Cedillo, if you could just hold a second. Mr. Roberts, we want to thank you for the great job that you did for the Dodgers, and we are expecting you to get the trophy, and we expect you to bring it right back.
I like high expectations.
Right back,
sir.
and sit it on that table right there. I want to give a big shout out to Naomi, who's an unbelievable asset of the Dodgers organization, and we're excited about the future. With that said, I'd like to call on my colleague from the great 15th District, Mr. Joe Buscaino.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Mr. President, I don't know if I'm more excited about opening day or Dave Roberts' bobblehead on July 6th, but we stand today, and thank you, Mr. Cedillo, for bringing in the Dodger organization with Noemi and Patricia Whalen, who just joined the crew, and to see Renata here as passing the torch from Noemi to Renata. I'm happy to hear both your presence. The Dodger organization is part of the fabric of who we are as one city. I remember my first Dodger game. My dad, an Italian immigrant, took me to my first Dodger game and sat in the right field pavilion and pointed one thing out. He said, "You see number 2, Tommy Lasorda, son? He's Italian." And as far as the people who've been brought into the organization reflects who we are as a city of Los Angeles. And in 1988, as an 8th grader, my cousin Pete took me to the steps of City Hall and seeing Tommy Lasorda dance with the championship trophy, saying, how sweet it is to taste the fruits of victory. And we are here in the presence of Olympians, our Olympic athletes who too tasted the fruits of victory, representing our great country. And we want to thank you, Dave, for your leadership both on and off the field, and never forgetting about our youth and our community and giving them an opportunity, and the work that Noemi has done for those individuals and kids, quite frankly, specifically South Los Angeles. You can't afford a Dodger ticket, but we put them on a bus, we get them to the Dodger game, and allowing them to experience true blue and Dodger heaven. So we recognize the Dodger organization, and thank you so much for all that you do for our great city.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Mr. Krikorian.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Cedillo, for allowing us to do this for Mr. Roberts. Both Mr. Cedillo and Mr. Buscaino spoke eloquently about the important place that the Dodgers have had in all of our memories, and certainly we all remember great heroes and great moments of victory and championships. But I was especially touched, Dave, by your words about the Dodgers' role as part of the spirit of this city, and how the Dodgers connect not only generation to generation, but inspire people maybe who aren't even baseball fans, and help to identify who we are as a city. And I think this season was as memorable as any of our championship seasons of the past because of you. And it is just, I am so pleased that the National League saw fit to recognize you appropriately as the Manager of the Year in your maiden voyage, because this has been a season of overcoming tremendous obstacles. The team set the record for the most injuries, most starting rotations, and still, throughout all that, to have put together the season that you did through your leadership and your persistence and the grit and the determination of so many players, not necessarily one star, but so many people who went above and beyond to try to rally together and overcome obstacles. And at the end of the day, that's what Los Angeles is all about. That's what people do in every walk of life in this city, and they make this city great. And you exemplified that this year, I think, more than any of our championship years. And so for that, I just want to thank you. And, last year when you and the Dodgers were here, we were looking forward to a championship season. Nobody could have guessed what was ahead of the team in this challenging season. But you rose above, you overcame all that, put together an incredible record of success despite those challenges, and I think that really is an inspiration to all of us. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Harris Dawson.
Thank you so much, Mr. President and members. Coach, I just want to stand up and thank you. Just a few weeks ago, I lost my uncle, who was like a second or third father to me, and one of the stories I told was that one of the last times I saw him was the day you all were here to bring the team and celebrate the team at the beginning of the season, thanks to Senator Cedillo, and he got to talk with you for a long time. You spent a good amount of time with him, and so on the way home, he says, this was a real moment for me. He says, I met and talked with Jackie Robinson during the time he was playing, and I got to meet the first black manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, my home team. So it was a really big deal for him before he passed away. So I wanted to thank you for that personally and what it means to our city. The other thing he said, being tough as he is, he says, you know, you guys shouldn't have many more of these celebrations without championships. So the next time you stand at that desk, we want it to be to celebrate a world championship.
Fair enough.
Mr. Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. Gil, thanks for ushering in this celebration. Coach, we're just so proud of you and the Dodgers. You know, I certainly have fond memories listening to the broadcasts, you know, on the floor in front of the radio, or with my little transistor radio. You know, if I had to go to bed under the covers, you know, listening to Vince Scully do his thing, and then during the week and on the weekends, I'd be at the park playing Little League baseball, Little League and Junior League. In fact, I see my buddy across the room there, Tom Sales. He and I played at Harvard Park and at Van Ness Park. You know, one in the morning and another park in the afternoon. But baseball was that important, and the Dodgers just sort of epitomized that. So I just want to say thank you for not just the memories past, but what's happening now, and for the strong history and legacy that the Dodgers have of community service. You know, the Dodger Fields is certainly something that we've benefited from around the city. In fact, I'm told the first one occurred in the 9th District at Gil Lindsay Park. So we're excited about that. And of course, now the Kids for Dodgers, another way that you're doing some outreach and really touching individuals who need it, kids and citizens who really appreciate it. So I just want to say thank you. Congratulations, of course, on your achievements. You're a real positive role model on lots of levels. And we just know that the Dodgers are going to be successful next year, and I look forward to the celebration that's going to start right here at City Hall.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Right on.
Okay, Mr. Price referenced our newly appointed Commissioner Tom Sales. Look, I want to verify, did he really play baseball, and was he any good? Okay, all right, it's good to know. Mr. Koretz.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I think Paul Krikorian said it better than I can, but this was an amazing season. If the Dodgers had lost 2/3 of our games under the same circumstances, I don't think anybody would have faulted you, because so many things went wrong. This was a team that won with heart and managing only. And I think that was pretty remarkable, and you get a huge amount of the credit for that. So let's give them all another round of applause for this amazing season.
All right.
Now, like many of the people in this horseshoe, I remember from my earliest times when I was 2 or 3 years old going to Dodger games and with my father, and that was one of my cherished memories. So I appreciate that. And my council district played a role in the Dodgers coming to Los Angeles, because Roz Wyman, who is still active many years later, had this crazy idea when she was elected at age 22 that she would run on bringing the Dodgers to Los Angeles. I don't think anybody thought she could do it, and here we are. And we love the Dodgers. It means so much to our civic fabric to have you here. And you are a terrific role model and leader for the Dodgers, and we hope you'll be here for many years to come.
Mr. Cedillo, let you finish wrapping this up. We're going to have a 90-second recess. Members, when we give him this proclamation, let's all go to the center table for a photo. So, Mr. Cedillo, close it out. Take us home.
Let's go, Dodgers.
All right. Recess for 2 seconds. Let's give it up one more time for Dave Roberts and the Dodgers. Okay, now if I can get everybody to calm down, we have another very special item to discuss with several American heroes that are with us today. So, Mr. City Attorney, even though on item 14 we satisfied the public comment, I'm going to open that back up for approximately 20 minutes as we deal with item 14. And the way that I'm going to start this off is I'm going to ask the sergeants, I want you to remove the ropes, if you would. And we're going to have a series of speakers. But before we do that, I would like to ask every Olympian to come to the mic and indicate your sport and if you want the year that you participated. So let's don't be shy. Let's let everybody know who's with us today. So let's start it off. Every Olympian, just come on. Come on. Start it off. Somebody's got to be bold. Just one after the other. Welcome.
Welcome. My name is Carmelita Jeter. I'm from the 2012 London Games. I am the gold, the bronze, the silver medalist, and the world record holder in the 4x100 meter relay.
All right. Yeah. Next.
I am also the second fastest woman in the 100 meters. The only woman to run faster than me is Florence Griffith Joyner.
Oh, my God.
Hello, my name is Ty Babylonia.
All right.
Born and raised in Los Angeles. Two-time Olympian in figure skating, 76 and 1980. And I'm so honored to be here.
We're lucky to have you.
Hello, my name is Dawn Harper Nelson. I'm originally from East St. Louis, Illinois. UCLA brought me out. Woo-woo Bruins. I have gold from the 2008 Olympics in the 100-meter hurdles and silver in the 2012 100-meter hurdles.
All right. Next.
Hello, my name is Samantha Peschick, and I was in the 2008 Olympics, and our team won a silver medal in gymnastics.
All right.
Welcome. My name is Henry Tillman, 1984 Olympic heavyweight gold medalist boxing, and I'm born and raised here, so welcome.
Hey, champ. Champ, thanks for coming. Yes.
Hello, my name is Kaylee Gilchrist. I competed in women's water polo in Rio, and we brought home the gold.
All righty, come on.
Hi, I'm Raj Bhavsar. I competed in men's gymnastics. We brought home a bronze medal from Beijing, China.
All righty.
Hi, my name is Laura Goodkind. I competed in Rio 2016 Paralympics in rowing, and I'm also an ambassador for Angel City Sports, which promotes adaptive sports throughout Southern California.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Rohde. I'm competed in shooting. I have had the honor of representing the United States in 6 Olympics. My first one being in 96, followed by 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, and 2016. I'm still competing. I have 3 golds, 1 silver, 2 bronzes, and I am a second generation born and raised LA.
All right.
Hello, I'm Brian Goodell from Mission Viejo, California. I was represented the United States in 1976. I won the 400 and the 1,500 meter freestyle races and came on to compete for UCLA and joined the 1980 team, the boycott team. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dane Blanton. I competed in the sport of beach volleyball. I was the first African American to win a major beach volleyball title and played in the 2000 and 2004 Olympics and brought home the gold in 2000.
All right.
Hi, my name is Kobe Jones. I competed in soccer in the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona and raised in Los Angeles, and I love this city. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Melanie Valerio, and I was in the 1996 Olympics. I have a gold medal in swimming.
Good morning. I'm Hong Ping Lee. I'm competing in 1984 LA Los Angeles Olympic Games, representing the People's Republic of China on 3-meter springboard diving. Also, I was the coach for USA Diving in 2000 Athens Olympic Games.
I'm Dave Salo. I'm the head swimming coach at the University of Southern California. I was inspired by the 1984 Los Angeles Olympic Games. I've been a swimming coach at every Games from 92 through 2016, and I intend to be at the Olympic Games in LA in 2024.
Good morning, I'm Marcus Rogan. I was actually coached by Dave Salo. I competed in 4 Olympic Games for Austria, won 2 medals, and I was the sports psychologist for the Brazilian Olympic team in Rio de Janeiro.
My name is Apollo Ono. I competed in the sport of short track speed skating and Dancing with the Stars, local here in LA, which I won. I have 8 Olympic medals, and like all these athletes, we are in support of the LA 2024 Olympic Games to bring it back here to this great city of Los Angeles.
Good morning. It's a privilege and an honor to be here. My name is Gideon Massey. I'm a 2004 and 2008 Olympian in the sport of track cycling, and once again here with these great athletes to bring the Olympics back in Los Angeles in 2024. Thank you.
My name is Prince Mumba. I didn't compete for USA. I competed for Zambia in 2004 and 2012, and I was the flag bearer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Chuck Nelson, the 1964 volleyball. I also was very privileged to work in the 1984 games for the LA Olympics, so I got a double whammy here. We want to bring it back one more time.
All right.
Hi, my name is Jesse Smith. I went to Pepperdine University and as part of the team water polo player that won a silver medal in 2008. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Reed Pretty. I 4-time Olympian. I won gold in 2008 and bronze in Rio in indoor volleyball, and looking to make it a 5th on the beach in 2020. Looking forward to support LA 2024.
John Neighbor, swimming, 1976, 4 gold, 1 silver.
Hello, my name is Dörte Lindner. I'm a diver representing Germany in the 2000 Olympic Games in Sydney, won bronze medal, but I practiced here in Los Angeles. Thank you.
I'm Christine Quantz-Julian. I grew up here in Los Angeles, went to USC, and swam in the 1996 Olympic Games.
Catherine Starr was on the 84 and here in Los Angeles on the 88 Olympic Games, and I swam on the British Olympic team.
Hi, I'm Lenny Kraselberg, swam in 2000, 2004 Olympics in swimming, 4-time Olympic gold medalist.
All right.
Hi, I'm Hal Hanel. I live here in Silver Lake. I participated in Korea in 1988, where we won a silver medal in the sport of sailing, and in 1992 in Barcelona, where we won a gold medal.
Hi, I'm Tony Azevedo. I'm the captain of the men's USA Olympic water polo team. I'm a 5-time Olympian and from Long Beach, California, so go LA.
Hi, my name's Adam Wright. I participated in 3 Olympic Games with water polo 2004, 2008, and 2012. Thank you for having us.
Apparently, this is the aquatics portion of the program. My name is Christy Planty, 3-time Olympian, 1988, 1992, 1996, silver medalist. consider myself a legacy from the 1984 Olympics, as that was what drove my passion for me to be here today. Thank you.
Continuing the trend, I'm Rick Azevedo, and I coached the Olympic team in 1996 and 2004, and in 2016 I coached the Chinese team. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mark Schubert. I'm former swimming coach at USC. I coached 1980 through 2008 Olympic teams in swimming. Currently, Janet Evans' daughter swims on my team. And if we don't get this bid, I'm not allowed to retire.
Then let's get it.
Good morning. I'm Bruce Furness, two-time Olympic champion in swimming in 1976. I attended the University of Southern California. And I pause for a moment to remember Sammy Lee, who recently passed away. Sammy was inspired by the 1932 Olympics being in L.A., went on to be one of the greatest divers in the history of our country. It's a great example of the cultural diversity of our city. And actually, I swam for his swim school as a kid, so he inspired me in my sport. So I can't embrace enough the idea of having L.A. get another Olympics. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jimmy Kim. I competed at the 1988 Olympics in Seoul, Korea. I competed in the men's heavyweight division in Taekwondo, won a gold medal. And I have the other child of Janet Evans, Jake. He trains with me in Laguna Niguel. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Reynaldo Brown. I was the youngest member of the 1968 Olympic team, the men's side, and also made the Olympic team as a junior in high school while at Compton High School. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sinjin Smith, born and raised here in L.A., went to UCLA, NCAA champion, 1996 Olympian in beach volleyball. Go LA 24.
I am John Moffat. I was a swimmer on the 1980 Olympic team. I was also proud to compete in front of my hometown here in Los Angeles for the 1984 Games. Councilmember Koretz, I live in your district. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for the City Council for having all of us here today.
Hello, my name is Roberta Bell. Sadly, I was on the 1980 Olympic team that boycotted, and I was in 1984 Olympic team in the 400 meters as an alternate on the 4x400 meter relay. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Michael Leonard. I competed in the 1984 Games in team handball, and I do not yet coach any of Janet's children.
Hi, my name is Tamara Jenkins. I competed in Sydney 2000, and I have the great distinction and honor of calling Janet Evans my boss.
Good morning. Originally from Los Angeles, California, Rod Oshida, 1984 Olympic Games here in Los Angeles, 1988 Seoul, South Korea. Thank you for your help.
Hello, I am Myra Mayberry. I competed and represented, qualified in the Olympics 92, 96, 2000, and I competed in track and field, and just wanted to let everybody know the Trojans are in the house at that USC.
Good morning, everybody. Isn't this the mayor's ball? My name is Jeff Williams, straight out of South Central LA, Washington High School. I was alternate on the 92 team. I was a participant on the 96 team, former American record holder at 200 meters, and one of the few times that I actually be in front of the guy back there that broke the world record and promptly barbecued us out there. But LA is definitely the place for us to have these games, and you guys got to do everything to make this happen. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Paul Gonzalez. I'm the first Mexican-American in the history of the Olympic Games to where to go. Proud to be here, represent, and just want to let you know, I just lived over the bridge here, you know, when I won my gold medal from Aliso Village Housing Projects, and I'm proud to be a member of the Olympic team, and because we got such a huge fraternity, the Olympians, we're going to all gang up if we need to, because we need to make this happen. So I want to thank you, and God bless. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Donna Mayhew, 1988, 1992 Olympic team, javelin throw. And thank you for having me here. I just want to bring the games back here to this great city. And I worked for the city, Rectum Parks, and Councilmember Rue's district at the Griffith Observatory last 16 years. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Taiba Hanif Park. I'm on the women's volleyball team, 2004, 2008, 2012, two-time silver medalist. My mother was born and raised in Compton, and she took me to the Olympics in 1984 to some of the free events, and I ran back to my kindergarten class and told them I was going to be an Olympian. I now have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old and would love to bring the games back here to LA and foster their dreams of becoming Olympians as well.
Hi, my name is Valerie Briscoe Hooks. I won 3 gold medals here in Los Angeles. I was the first person to win 200, the 400, and the 4x4, or win 3 gold medals at those events. And it's another person behind me. But I was the first female to do it. Thanks. Oh, and I also won a silver in '88.
Good morning. My name is Wyoming Tyus. I live in the 10th District. I went to...
Can I get you some tea or coffee or whatever you like?
I went to 2 Olympics, 1964 in Tokyo, Japan, 1968 in Mexico City. I won 3 gold medals. I was the first person to win back-to-back 100 meters, the first male or female in the Olympic Games. I also would like to say I had the opportunity in 1984 to be a flag bearer of the Olympic flag in the Olympics, and it was great for me and for my grandkids, and for my kids, I should say, to be a part of that, and I would love to see that come back. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Willie Banks, and I'm a 3-time Olympian, 1980, 84, and 88. I was a former world record holder in the triple jump, and I'm really looking forward to the Olympic Games coming back to LA. Oh, also, I'm a Bruin.
I'm Tracy Sundlin, and I am not an Olympic medalist, but I was the assistant track coach at the University of Southern California, where Willie couldn't go. And this past year, I was the head manager of the United States track and field team, which won more medals than any team in history. And we very, very, very much want to bring the games back here to Los Angeles.
Hello, my name is Michael Johnson. I'm the athlete that kept getting referred to that was back there. I had the great fortune of representing this country in Barcelona in 1992, Atlanta in 1996, and Sydney in 2000. And I won gold every time. And I beat Jeff Williams in 1996.
Hello, my name is Lori Ogren. I live in Huntington Beach. I'm a transplant from a little small town in northern Wisconsin. I've lived here 20 years. I was in the 1992 Olympics for women's team handball. I am blessed and honored to be here today to help represent bringing 2024 games back. I think if you look at the symbol, it says follow the sun, but it radiates from the heart. And I think that's where every single person can identify with that throughout this great city, this nation, and our whole world. So I hope we can bring it back here.
Connie Paris-Skevin, 2-time long track speed skating,
three-time Olympian track cycling, Olympic bronze medalist in the 1988 Seoul Olympic Games. I currently run youth cycling programs, track cycling programs here in Los Angeles. Those programs would not be possible would it not be for the legacy of the 1984 Games. We get a large amount of our support through the LA 84 Foundation. Hello, I'm not an Olympian, but my name is Kathy Robinson Young, and this is my daughter, Brittany Hamilton. Thank you. And we are representing our dad, my dad, Matthew Mack Robinson, who was a silver medalist in the 1936 Berlin Olympics. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're here supporting Los Angeles 2024.
Thank you. And now we have some of our Paralympians that are with us. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. Got three more. Elena Nichols, first female American to win gold in both the Olympic or Paralympic Games, wheelchair basketball and alpine skiing. More recently, competed in kayak in Rio, and am excited to bring adaptive surfing to LA 2024.
All right.
And Elena and I are like bookends. I'm a 9-time Paralympian in both winter and summer sports. I was the first American to win medals in winter and summer sports. It was a gold and a silver. Elena's got me. And 12 medals, 8 gold. And we're really hoping to bring the Paralympics to Los Angeles in 2024 for the first time.
My name is Angela Madsen, and I'm originally from Ohio. California was my first duty station in the Marine Corps, and I took up surfing and never went back to Ohio. And now I hang 2 instead of 10, and I'm looking forward to making surfing a Paralympic sport also. I'm a 3-time Paralympian, 1 bronze medal from 2012. I started off rowing, and after I rowed across the Atlantic Ocean with 16 people, I decided I wanted to throw things and yell. So I took up shot put and javelin and threw things for the last 2. I was in Rio. So also looking forward, I run an adaptive rowing program, and we have 3 Paralympians at our rowing center, and I'm excited to be a part of the rowing event at LA 2024. And it's just awesome. Thanks for having us here.
Sorry, just quickly, I'm a 4-time Olympian, Angela Ruggiero, in women's ice hockey, so one of the few winter sports here. Born and raised in Southern California. I have a gold, 2 silvers, and a bronze medal.
All right. Well, wait. Let me... See, I could tell you Olympians are quick and sharp because, Angela, I was getting ready to call you, all right? You got to let me coordinate, all right? Yeah. Now, let's give our Olympians a round of applause. Alan, read the item. Or Mr. Clerk, read the item.
Very good, sir. Ad hoc committee on the 2024 Summer Olympics report regarding guarantees related to signing the host city contract for the 2024 Summer Olympic and Paralympic Games and related matters.
Okay, thank you. Now, this is a very special day for us. We cannot believe that we have so many of you with us today. So we want to take advantage as the world is looking towards Los Angeles to show off our Olympians and our love for the games. So this is a little special. We're going to make it a little special. So we're going to have comment now from some of our great Olympians. And I want to start off with Janet Evans. Please come, Janet. Welcome, friend.
Thank you, my friend, Council President. I wasn't slated to speak, but I will say that I am so humbled. I actually started crying back there when all of these amazing Olympians and Paralympians were introducing themselves. Many of them were my heroes, watching them growing up from 76, from those that missed 1980 and those that competed here in 1984. I think council members, Council President, you'll understand from the love and support in this room from these incredible athletes that came here today to spend their day with Los Angeles 2024, how badly we want these games, how badly we want to inspire new generations to live and dream and do whatever they want to do, and how badly we want to see the greatest Olympic and Paralympic Games come back to our great city in 2024. Thank you so much for all of your support.
Thank you. If we could have our very own Anita DeFrance come forward. Angela, followed by you. So, Angela, you're next. You just want to go up too? You're next.
She's a rower, too. Thank you, President Wesson. Thank you, members of the council. I'm here to answer the question, why LA? It's easy to answer that question, certainly because my colleagues from the Olympians and the Paralympians have really answered the first thing I was going to say. I immigrated here in 1981 from the East Coast to work for the 1984 Olympic Games. And after 10 minutes of being here, I realized that this was home because I felt so welcomed. And that's what this city does enormously well. It welcomes everybody. You heard of athletes from other countries living here, being part of this community, the City of Angels. Point two is that this is a city that thrives on success. We thrive on people achieving success. We love to support people achieving success, and we love to see people being successful. The Olympic Games they are a celebration of human excellence. They're based on mutual respect and fair play. And what city would be better suited to host a celebration of human excellence? None other than the City of Angels, Los Angeles, my adopted home. You have an important decision to make today, so I hope that you support the wishes and hopes of all the Angelitos, 88% in a recent poll, who want to bring the games back. Thank you very much for all that you do for this wonderful city, and thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Thank you. So we get Angela Ruggio and Candace Cable.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. It's an absolute honor to be here on behalf of the athletes. As you know, I was a four-time Olympian in ice hockey, born and raised here, played actually the first and only man or woman in the Hockey Hall of Fame from California, so thank you. Like Anita, I serve on the International Olympic Committee. I'm on the executive board with her as chair of the Athletes Commission. So we have a different vantage point, I think, sitting on the IOC. And what I feel here today is the social impact, the social legacy. The energy in this room right now is what happens when you bring the games to your country, when you bring your games to your city. And everyone I speak to that was here in 1984 has a story. So as much as we talk about, obviously, economic impact and all the other pieces, what you're feeling here today is what I believe is one of the most important aspects, is that social impact that all these athletes that are here today have felt. They know how many people they've inspired. They know what difference they've made in the lives of everyone that has seen them compete, seen the potential in each and every one of us. So as an IOC member, as an athlete, as an American USOC board member, as a member of LA 2024, I want nothing more than to bring the games back here. It's an inspiring place to live. It's already given back so much through those 84 games, and I wholeheartedly support it. I know you do as well. I'm just here to say thank you for everything that the city has done, and go 2024 LA. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Sergeants, you're going to have to clear the, because I'm calling up, I need now Candace Cable, I need Michael Johnson, and they can't get through because of the ropes. Sergeants, the ropes in the center aisle. Okay, hi, good to see you
Hey,
again.
good to see you all. Thank you. Thank you so much for having us here today. And I'm glad to be back. My friend Elena Nichols was saying this felt like church a little bit. And it does. Feels a little heady. And being a part of all this, I have to mirror what Janet said about feeling the overwhelmness and of all the different athletes here. There's just so much inspiration in this room. And being a Paralympian and a native Angelino, I had the opportunity, and it was unusual, to take part in the 1984 Olympic Games. In 1984, I was 9 years into a spinal cord injury and 7 years into a wheelchair racing career. And for people that don't know wheelchair racing, running is kind of our cousin. So we go around the track a bunch, and we go up and down roads and marathons and 10Ks. And a group of us got the call that they were going to have an exhibition event in the 1984 Olympic Games here in Los Angeles. We don't know who it was, the IOC, the OCOG, or God, I don't know. But it was somebody that said that the wheelchair race needs to be on the track and it needs to be seen. And it was a huge opportunity for us to show our sport, but also to show what people with disabilities could do. And at that time, there wasn't a lot for people with disabilities. We didn't have a lot of opportunities. My first Paralympic Games was 1980, and they were supposed to be held in the Soviet Union. But Moscow said they didn't have disabled people. So we didn't go there, right? Of course they did. They put them in institutions or they killed them. That's what you did with disabled people. So in 1984, it was huge. And as I waited underneath the stadium, in the Coliseum, in the dark, to go out, I realized we had an opportunity to create a social change. And I mirror what Angela said about the social movement, because it really is. Sports are a game changer. They can change the way people see the world. And it's a common language. And when we entered that track and we went from the dark to the light, oh my gosh, I was so overwhelmed by the whole greatness of it. There were 80,000 people in the stands screaming for us. And I'd never been in front of that many people. And as I lined up on the start line and the gun went off, I don't remember going around the track twice. I blanked out completely. And it's not one of my greatest moments, but by divine intervention, I crossed the finish line in third, and I won this bronze medal. And when I look at this bronze medal, it makes me realize that the Paralympic Games are on the same level as the Olympic Games. And it gives me hope. It gives me hope for social cohesion, for us to create inclusion of everyone. And I believe that 2024 is the right time. I believe LA is the right place for us to create that social cohesion. So I ask you, please, please, please say yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do, I've got several other Olympians we're going to call up, try to be somewhat brief. Michael Johnson, John Neighbor, Don Harper Nelson, come to the center podium, please. And welcome to your Los Angeles City Hall, right?
My first Olympics was 1992, and a few years before that, I was inspired by watching the 1984 Olympics on television. Growing up in Dallas, Texas, I was in high school at the time, and it was the first time I'd ever seen the Olympics. It was my first experience with the Olympics, and I was immediately inspired. And I spent the next 2 weeks watching television, watching as much as I could possibly soak up of the Olympic Games. The Olympics had gotten me, and it was in me. And I was fortunate a few years later to make my first Olympic team in 1992 in Barcelona. I won a gold medal at those Olympics, but I actually suffered food poisoning right before those games and wasn't able to win the 200 meters, which I was the defending world champion and ranked number one in the world at. But 4 years later, the Olympics came back to the United States for the first time since 1984, and I was extremely fortunate to take part and make history and become the first man to win the 200 and 400 meters at an Olympic Games. It was a fantastic experience. I will never forget walking into the stadium in Atlanta and all of the fans and the crowds and the support, the overwhelming support that I received. That sort of inspiration has driven me to be the best that I could be, not only at sports, but beyond sports and at everything that I've ever accomplished. That's what sports has meant to me. And I sincerely hope that we can bring the games back here to the United States, here to Los Angeles, to inspire other young people as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, speaking after Michael is mind-blowing. Like, you understand, I'm like, me, I'm after him. But yes, I'm Dawn Harper Nelson, and like I said, I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois, and as many of us in here as a young child, I had dreams of going to the Olympics. But what I really want to speak on today is the facilities, because I still compete today, and I train at the facilities that many of us we're going to use if we do 2024 here, which we're going to do. And so UCLA is where I was blessed to have a full ride and attend. And I graduated in 06. In 06 to the present, I have trained at UCLA. So I'm on the track every day using the weight room, physical therapy, and I'm understanding this is what it takes. And one thing for Olympians, when you think about success, you want to create an environment for yourself of the things you need, but you want it to be easy and accessible. And so UCLA has provided me that many, many years. And so I stayed in Sachs and Suites when I went to UCLA, and I had the pleasure last year when the ILC president came, we did a tour of UCLA, and I was blown away by the advances that they've even done in the dorms. Sachs and Suites was very different than when I stayed there. And when I stayed there, it was amazing for the village now, And when I think of the two Olympics that I've been to, and I think of what UCLA has to offer, once again, it's just above all the rest. And now, this year I have changed and I train at USC. Unfortunately, but fortunately. It's okay. It's okay. I cry daily. It's okay. No, the thing is, I have the unique perspective of being at both places, and honestly, every day I get there, and my Bruins, they're going to be so mad at me. Honestly, I do. It's amazing. The facilities are just, I'm like, wait a minute, UCLA, let's come on, UCLA, we got to battle. So I use a track every day now, and I also use the weight room and the cold pool, the hot tub. And like I said, as athletes, what you want is something easy and accessible, and they have that without needing to change a thing. And I know that both schools already have plans to change things disregarding 2024 Olympics. So the fact that they're already going to make these changes and improve even more, LA is just the place to be for 2024. So please bring it to LA.
Thank you. John, and then if we could get Apollo Ono to come up. If he's still here. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hello, my name is John Neighbor. I am a big Los Angeles Dodgers supporter, and I'd like to honor them. Unfortunately, I'm an Olympian, so I don't follow minor sports. But I would like to address the one person in the room who is hiding their doubts about supporting the LA 2024 Games. And what I'd like to say in the next 60 seconds is that the Olympics are inspiring because of their ordinariness. We saw a lot of Olympians step up here, and I bet every one of you can look at us and find somebody who looks like you, or looks like your kids, or sounds like your cousins. There's somebody to relate to. And the Olympics offer a sport for everybody. You can be big and tall, or you can be small and agile. You can win a gold medal for standing perfectly still and pulling a trigger. There's something in the games for everybody. And I know that we can watch the Olympics on TV and be inspired by what we see. In fact, watching the Olympics on TV probably was the beginning of every Olympian's dream. But I'm here to tell you that meeting an Olympian face to face, shaking their hand, watching them come into one of our restaurants or movie theaters will do even more than that. Because when I met my first Olympian, my dream became a reality. I began to believe in the possibility that I too could do something excellent. The thing that's amazing about the Olympics is that we're not extraordinary people. We're ordinary people who found a way to accomplish extraordinary results in the field that mattered most to us. So I'd like to ask every Olympian in this room, do you remember the first Olympian you met, and was that person in some way responsible for your future success? If we host the Olympics in Los Angeles, it's our children, it's our neighbors' children, it's our friends, it's our cousins, it's our haberdasher, it's the person who does the laundry, who will be inspired to accomplish their personal dreams. So if you're thinking about doing anything other than wholeheartedly supporting this bid, go ahead, be selfish, and say yes.
Thank you, John. I have so much love for the city of Los Angeles. Like all of these athletes, we have been inspired. But I want to talk a little bit more. I mean, Los Angeles is a city that has been innovative, it's been progressive, it's been a leader in so many different components of this great country. And when you bring an Olympic Games to a city, when you bring an Olympic Games, it inspires a generation of people, not just for the next 2 or 4 years, for decades. And when I run along Santa Monica Beach and I still see some of the cement benches there with the 1984 insignia stamped in them, it inspires me. And so I started the sport of short track speed skating because I saw it on television. I didn't know I wanted to be an ice speed skater. I had no idea what that was like. But I saw something that was different. It attracted me to that sport, and I was able to have such an incredible experience throughout my career. And that's exactly what sports does. It crosses boundaries, it crosses colors, it brings communities together. Just like Angela said, it brings social change and a positive perspective. And the sports of the Olympic Games is the most watched event in the world. And its lasting impact is so incredibly positive that it has to come to this great city because we have so much to offer in so many components. For many generations to come, from before and in the future, Los Angeles is a place where it will always serve to be a spotlight of the United States. And I can see no other greater city than this place to really have the storytelling capability of all of these athletes. Everyone here has an incredible story and journey of challenge and struggle and inspiration to get to that point of reaching the podium or reaching that Olympic team. And there is some kid, man, woman, child, who's watching those Olympic Games, who gets inspired, who makes a change, who's in sometimes inescapable fear and doubt of denial or defeat, but they see something within sport that drives them further. And that's what the Olympic Games can do, and that's why we are all here, and we're so passionate about bringing the Olympic Games back to Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So quickly, if I could get Rusty Hicks, LA County Federation of Labor, Gary Tobin, LA Chamber, Renata of LA 84, come on up, Renata Simro, and then Keith Parker, UCLA, Tom Sales, USC, No Fighting. Rusty, the floor is yours.
Mr. President, members of the council, it's a great honor to be here on such an exciting day, and it's truly an honor to follow so many Olympians. I didn't realize that Los Angeles had so many, but now I know. For the LA County Federation of Labor, it's really about jobs. It's about good jobs. And what we have is the opportunity to bring anywhere from 74,000 to 79,000 good-paying, full-time jobs to the city of Los Angeles, which means anywhere from $4.8 to $5.1 billion in earnings for workers here in the city. And at the same time, you minimize the risk because of all the great assets that this city has. And I think at this particular moment in our nation's history, our country is looking for hope and inspiration, and you can always look west. You can always look to Los Angeles for that hope and inspiration. So we urge you to vote yes on the 2024 Olympics and Paralympics here in Los Angeles. Thank you.
I'm Gary Tobin with the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce. The business community shares the same pride and support for the LA24 bid as you just heard from this outstanding group of Olympic athletes. The business community has already shown its support for all the time they have volunteered and given to the bid and all the money that they have pledged to the bid. I urge you to join these athletes and the business community in giving your unanimous support to this bid proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Renata.
Council President, members of City Council, Renata Semerald, President and CEO of the LA84 Foundation. It's without question LA is the Olympic city. The 1932 Games that were first held in Los Angeles yielded $1 million surplus and elevated the profile of Los Angeles as a sporting, business, and tourist mecca. The 1984 Games, considered one of the most successful and certainly the most profitable games in Olympic history. The surplus created our foundation, the L84 Foundation, and it has enabled us to benefit the lives of over 3 million youth to become their best selves through sport. We've trained 80,000 coaches, supported 2,200 nonprofits, and built or restored hundreds of fields of play. Over the last 30 years, we've invested over $230 million into communities most in need, and we're still going strong. But while important, our impact extends far beyond numbers and far beyond Olympic sports. So let me share one example of what I mean by that. Take Kalen Moore. Kalen Moore was a young man from South LA. He beat all odds, a father in prison, a mother who was a victim of domestic and sexual abuse, and whose family was homeless for a time. Despite these circumstances, he thrived both on and off the field. He began his journey in an LA84-funded sports program, football program. His mother and he credit the life skills and the positive coach mentors he obtained through sports. And Kalen says in his own words, football isn't his life, but it helped to save his life. And this young man in November was nominated as he was awarded a 2017 Rhodes Scholarship. So he'll be studying in England for the next 2 years. Each Olympic Games we've hosted have been transformative and have left a legacy in our city. The LA 2024 bid honors that legacy while embracing our future. The opportunity to host the 2024 Games would allow us to expand and replicate the best of our work, to support more communities in need, and to deliberately promote the relevance of sport as a tool to improve the lives of youth, their families, and the communities we serve. Hosting a third Olympic Games in our city would without question solidify our place as the Olympic city. But more importantly, your support will help us reach 1 million more Kalen Moores. So we urge your unanimous support today. Thank you.
Thank you. And so before you start, Brother Parker, I'm looking for Jessica from the CCA, Carol, Mary Leslie, okay, Keith Parker, UCLA.
Thank you, Council President Weston. I'm very pleased to be here on behalf of Chancellor Block. UCLA is proud to join the City of Los Angeles, the remarkable LA 2024 team, and that other school on the other side of town, to propose hosting the 2024 Olympics. Since 1920, UCLA has had, and many of those athletes are here today, 424 Bruins who won 261 medals, 133 of which are gold, participate in the Olympics. This opportunity for the 2024 Olympics will be an unbelievable opportunity for Los Angeles to demonstrate to the world how to not only effectively and professionally run an Olympic Games, but how to run an Olympic Games at a reasonable cost. LA has existing world-class revenues and experience to run these games in a professional way. UCLA also has that experience and existing facilities to host all of the Olympic athletes, since we are already home to so many great athletes, great students, and great researchers. We are also pleased that the UCLA health system will be able to provide world-class medical services to the Olympic athletes and those others that are attending the Games who may need hospital care. We are pleased to be a part of this effort, and all we can say is go LA 24 and go Bruins.
I want the Olympians to realize we didn't gong you with the buzzer. All right, so You have to be an Olympian. Mr. Sales, USC.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, President Wesson and members of the City Council. First, let me thank you for confirming me this morning to the board of the Airport Commission. Thank you so much. I promise to serve you well. My name is Tom Sales. I'm USC Senior Vice President for University Relations. I'm a native Angelino, and I was at the 1984 Olympics. And I'm honored to be here today to voice USC's enthusiastic support for bringing the Olympics back to Los Angeles. On behalf of our president, Max Nikias, I want to thank all of you, all the Olympians, everyone in this room for this effort, because we need to bring these Olympics home. LA is the home of the Olympics. Please know that toward that effort, USC is going to invest $270 million to make sure that the Coliseum is an even more attractive venue. Know that USC has a rich Olympic history. It is said that if we were our own country in the last Olympics, we would have been 14th in the world. Please know that the buzzers are going off, but the LA Football Club, as well as the Lucas Museum, will give the folks who come here in 2024 even more to do. Congratulations and fight on.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
You too, Council President Wesson. My name is Jessica Lal, and on behalf of the Central City Association, which represents over 400 businesses across the city and region, we proudly support the bringing back of the Olympics to our great, diverse city. As a proud Trojan myself, and the legacy that the Olympics has left here in our city and our region, we stand behind the committee and the effort, as it we know will bring many jobs and take great care in modernizing our infrastructure while not costing the city much money. And we really look forward to continuing to work with each of you to make sure that downtown and the many assets, restaurants that have been brought to the region will be fully utilized throughout the effort. Thank you all for the effort and the time that's been put into this, and we stand behind you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Carol, welcome back.
Thank you. Carol Schatz, President of the Downtown Center Business Improvement District. What an extraordinary opportunity this is for our city. I remember attending the '84 Olympics, and this city has grown up since 1984 in all ways. We have physically grown. We have become the center for arts and culture, one of the major centers in the country for that. Every aspect of life in Los Angeles has become world-class, and let's show it off. It is extremely important that the world can see the world-class city that we have built. We will show tremendous pride in our city to people all over the world, and that alone is going to bring in more dollars, more jobs, more investment. So please support this unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mary, before you start, I want to get Myra Mayberry from LA's Best, and we're going to ask Jane Kennedy to close this out. Jane Kennedy Overton. Mary, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And as a Bruin and a Trojan, it is my honor today. Thank you. For this historic day, on behalf of the Los Angeles Business Council, to fully support the bid. The bid has been an extraordinary process, bringing together all sectors of the city in a common goal. It puts Los Angeles, as Carol just said, on a world stage as a leader with world-class athletes, world-class facilities, a business and community groups that support this bid, a mayor and a council president that led this bid and took that opportunity, a year ago, August, to step back up after Boston stepped down. So the legacy of this bid will last beyond September 17th when we win, and its spirit and legacy will be that together we can work successfully for common goals that move this city forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again. Remember, I'm an Olympian, no beeps. I'm proud to represent, I'm a little girl from South Central LA. And so I'm part of the Ready, Set, Gold program, part of the LA Starters Association, as well as USA Track and Field, and best of all, a proud member of LA's Best, the #1 after-school enrichment program. I've been a proud member for over 20 years. Investing in bringing the Olympics back to Los Angeles is investing into the future leaders. So the '84 Olympics left a legacy to support the youth, the children of Los Angeles. And it's been over 12,000 elementary school children. Every year they get to participate in organized sports, support, mentoring, and coaching. This has been a professionally trained, leveraged opportunity for youth sports in kind of coaching, mentoring, and I have firsthand view and opportunity to be part of all that. That's LA, this 24-karat magic that's in this air. You know, it's time to have the big party come back because we will be the perfect host. LA's Best offers sports, education, and us being the Olympians have an opportunity to reach out to 24,000 and more students to enrich their lives daily as future Olympians, as athletes, and just the betterment of themselves, just knowing that we're here to support them through LA's Best, Ready, Set, Go. We're in the schools to support them. So we are happy as Olympians here today. Olympians, are you with me? Yeah. Trojans, are you with me? Yeah. Bruins too, everyone. We are so happy and proud to be part of this investment to the city, to develop the future generation of future Angelenos. So, future Olympians, do you feel me? Because when the world reaches out to us, we want to look back and say, we got you. Yeah. Nothing can stop us. We're all the way out, right? Thank you.
We got you. We got you. And I can't think of a better person to close public comment on this item than you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, and to the council members. I cannot tell you what an honor it is for me to be here today. And whether I came up here and sat or not, just the fact that I sat on this bench with all of these amazing athletes that have shaped my life. I have no dog in this fight. I am not in the business industry. I am not in the sports industry. I don't go to UCLA. I don't go to USC, although my daughter Zaire, fight on, baby girl. She's a senior majoring in international relations, and LA 24 Foundation hired her as an intern last summer. And I found out just through osmosis, all of the amazing work that they were doing. And I just told them, I said, just count me in, whatever I can do, because I wholeheartedly believe in the Olympics. I believe in sports and what it can do. You've heard all of the people testify today, and you all have your own individual personal stories about the benefits of sports programs. When you see somebody, when you see that because of them, we can. And it's not just that we want to motivate our young people to go out and become athletes, even though that's a beautiful thing, but we want to motivate all other people because these people can do what they do. The city of Los Angeles can show young people through generations and generations to come that no matter what your dream is, no matter what your hopes and desires may be, because of them, we've shown them that we can come from being normals and you can achieve anything. And we need that hope. We desperately need that hope, especially in today's America. So I think Los Angeles is the city that can shine a light on that and show the world that we are a progressive city. We've got to I was part of the '84 Olympics, as a participant and through my work with Coca-Cola and through my sports work, not as an athlete, but, you know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an athlete so bad. I just really wanted to, and the opportunities were not there for me. So I ask you to motivate these young people in the city of Los Angeles to come. There was a young lady, a 9-year-old girl, when we were at the Martin Luther King celebration the other day, and I was in the tent for the LA24, and a 9-year-old girl came up, and she was very shy, and her mom said she wanted to come and say hi because she's training to be a track athlete. And I said, "What event do you do?" And she said, "I don't know." And she didn't even look up. You know, she was, you know, her mom kept trying to prompt her to become involved in the conversation. And so I took the LA24 pen and I put it in her hands. And I said, "You know what I want you to do? I want you to take this, and every time you go to practice, I want you to remember that you have a dream." She said she wanted to be in the Olympics in 2024. I said, "How old are you going to be?" She said, "I don't know." Her mom said 17. And I said, "Okay, so when you're 17, you're going to take the podium and you're going to trade this pin in for a gold medal." And her eyes just lit up. I mean, because she finally found something that motivated her. And that's what we need to do for our youth. That's what the city of Los Angeles can do for the entire world. I loved being there for the '84 Olympics. I cannot wait to get to the 2024 Olympics. And it won't happen unless you all vote yes. So I'm not just asking you, I'm begging you, you know, because it's good for everyone here. It's good for the entire city. And thank you so much for having me here. And Kobe Jones, you're the man.
Thank you.
Oh, and Michael Johnson, too.
Thank you.
And
Thank
Ty
you.
Babylonia. And all of you. Love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. City Attorney and Mr. Clerk, that concludes public comment on this item. I'd like to call quickly on Mr. O'Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to rise very briefly here and just say that when I was a teenager, I was a competitive gymnast, and my goal in life was to make it on the U.S. Olympic men's gymnastics team. I competed in the all-around. My father was a truck driver. We didn't have funding. We didn't have the monies to pay for the expensive gymnastics lessons, so I immediately started volunteering at the gym, breaking down the equipment, setting the equipment up, teaching classes to the toddlers, et cetera, when I was a teenager that helped pay for my instruction. I'd go to bed with Vaseline-covered hands, with socks over them, Bengay all over my body, shin splints, you name it. So that is just an inkling of some of the sacrifice in that particular sport, and you can multiply that with different circumstances on all of the Olympic sports. Since that time, when I was a teenager, I have been infected with the Olympic spirit. It has fueled every piece of motivation and goal setting that I've done my entire life that eventually led to a career in public service. And I think back about those days every single day of the week. And the Olympics will do that for everyone who participates as a viewer, as a participant. And when I put on my hat of a city council member, supporting the 88% of Angelenos who want to see the 24 Olympics come here, I had to put on my hat of a little bit of skepticism, challenging all of the approaches to make sure that once we did place an Olympic bid, that it would be a winning bid. I couldn't be more proud to have worked with my colleagues on the Ad Hoc Olympic Committee and the LA 2024 team and the city family that put together such a strong bid that imposes oversight for city leaders right up until the games begin. We are in such good shape. We have the context of a bid that Angelenos can get behind because it was so thoroughly vetted and the process had such integrity. We are in good shape to land the 2024 Olympics. That makes me very happy as an Olympic fan. So I say to all of you, let's support this Olympic bid. because of the obvious benefits and the potential this can bring to the city of Los Angeles in 2024 and what this means for Los Angeles after the games are long gone. The legacy will live on in future generations. So let's support this. Let's have a successful winning bid. Let's bring the 2024 Olympics to Los Angeles, their rightful place. And let's send a message to the international community that the Olympics can and will be successful when they are crafted in the way that we did the games here in Los Angeles. So I say to you, let's support this and let the 2024 games in Los Angeles begin. Thank you.
Okay, before I call on Mr. Krikorian, I want to say to all of the members, we're going to, at the suggestion of Mr. Englander, we're going to do a roll call vote, so I would highly recommend you stay in your chairs. Mr. Krikorian?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. As Budget and Finance Chair, I want to rise and say that this is the only city in the world to have hosted 2 financially successful Olympics Games. The third one will be a financial success as well, and I'm looking forward to the benefits that the surplus will provide from this Games. And it's no wonder that we have such broad support in the city because of that Olympic history, and people understand that we know how to do this, and we can do it, we will do it well. Since Commissioner Sales didn't get to finish his remarks, I do want to thank him for representing the University of Southern California, and since he didn't have a chance to mention it, I do want to mention that USC, of course, is the university with the most Olympians, the most medalists, the most gold medalists in the country, and a gold medalist in every summer game since 1912, just saying. But for all the talk about medals today, and all of you are, inspiring to all of us because of your stories of success. But to me, and I think to so many people, what inspires us about the Olympics is not always the stories of success. It's the stories of heroism. And I think a lot about, films that I've seen of people like John Aquari, who was a marathoner in 1968, and he fell in the race, dislocated his knee, and completed the marathon with a dislocated knee. And when people see something like, he finished the race an hour after the winner, an hour. The people had left the stands already, but he was going to finish that race. And when people watch the Olympics and they see things like that, they can translate that to their own lives. And they can see his spirit is something that inspires me to get through the struggles and challenges that I have in life, whether I'm an athlete or not. So I'm always inspired by by those stories. And, when they asked John Aquari afterwards, why did you continue running when you had a dislocated knee? He said, my country sent me here not to start a race, but to finish a race. So to LA 2024, I say, we've started, let's finish this race now.
Okay. If there has ever been a show of unity, I think that we have done that today. And I'm sure every member seated around this horseshoe would have something positive to say. But I think that let's send the most positive message that we can by voting aye. With that said, Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Very good, sir. Council President Wesson.
Wesson, aye.
Councilmember Rue.
Councilmember Rue, aye.
Councilmember Price.
Councilmember Price, aye.
Councilmember O'Farrell.
An enthusiastic aye.
Councilmember Martinez.
Councilwoman Martinez, aye.
Councilmember Krikorian.
Krikorian, aye.
Councilmember Koretz, absent. Councilmember Huizar.
Councilmember Huizar, absolutely aye.
Councilmember Harris-Sawson.
Council District 8, yes.
Councilmember Englander.
Councilmember Englander, yes.
Councilmember Cedillo.
Cedillo, aye.
Councilmember Buscaino.
Showtime. Showtime. Look at Brownie.
Where is it at?
Brownie, you're shameless.
Oh, technology. That is fun. There you go.
You're blowing the moment.
Bring the games to Los Angeles. Buscaino, aye.
Councilmember Bonin.
With the memory of Jim Craig, Micah Ruzioni, and the rest of the 1980 Olympic hockey team that beat the Soviets fresh in my mind, aye.
Councilmember Blumenfield.
Making it unanimous. Blumenfield, aye.
13 ayes.
13-0, unanimous vote. So, I'm going to take another quick, brief recess. Members, let's form a horseshoe. Inside the horseshoe, get all the Olympians to come up. Sergeants, help them come up. Betsy and Sherry, let's come take a couple of photographs. And if we could get our Paralympians in here first.
get one? Can we get a picture? Let's get a picture. Yeah. Three of us? I think she has the better phone.
Yes, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?
I knew you were going to be here.
Likewise. I see these shots.
Here, Kayla, get this.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm going to work today, too. Yeah, come on over. Okay. Hey, baby. Oops. Please on your knee. I'm going to get this one, too. Yeah,
Here, let me take this.
Thank you.
Sergeants, if I can help, please help us. We need to resume our meeting.
We're going to do a quick press interview, and I was going to grab a polo as well, and you guys can kind of tag team.
We're going to do it. We're not doing it.
Just real quick while we're on a break.
TV. Amazing. I did this and I did that and I did this.
I stayed busy there for a minute. Thank you. Then let me have you guys like here. 1, 2, 3. One more. Thank you so much.
So you're just an athlete to do all of these different things.
Yeah.
I was
Well, I broke my back snowboarding about 17 years ago, and before that I was a three-sport athlete, so it kind of transitioned once I found my groove, wheelchair basketball. Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate your support. That was amazing. Step in the right direction.
Step up to go to the brush my teeth and my foot. I've never seen my foot move faster than it did. I forgot about moisture on the floor. I was all marble. I didn't want to roll. Or do you want to do one-on-one? Just in my head.
Members, we have to resume our council meeting. If I can have the athletes please go to my right, to the mayor's conference room, I would really appreciate it. We need to resume our council meeting. Members, if you can please take your seats. Sergeants, can you please help me direct audience about where they need to be and ask our members to please take their seats?
Obviously, there needs to be an official vote, and this kind of solidifies that and sends a message to the world.
Mitch Englander, if I can please have you take your seat, sir. Thank you so much.
City council with athletes, to try to keep building that momentum to bring the Olympics here.
Well, we plan, this is the reason why I think things are going so well for us. It's been a partnership. So we will continue to partner with LA 2024. The council will go on the various trips with them to help lobby the IOC members. So we're in it to win it. We're part of this team.
And how do you plan on continuing to rally support for this? This is something that's, I think, in all of the fields. So my job and my real task is how do I get the rest of the communities in LA? There's so many people to kind of wake them up and say, look, this is what the game's all about, both locally here in LA, and then I travel internationally substantially as well. So when I see IOC members who are in different countries, in Europe or Asia, letting them know how badly we want to host the games and how good of a job that we will do with LA being the greatest storytelling city in the world. I'm Jesse. For the city of Los Angeles.
We're trying.
Hands up, jump in here.
Members, if I can please have you take your seats. Athletes, you can follow the mayor to my right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We did good. We did good.
Whenever you do it, always try to against the clock. So one side goes about 3. Got it.
Mr. Clerk, we're ready to continue our meeting. If I can please have the members of the public please take a seat. Members of the public, I need you to sit down, please. We're going to resume our council meeting. Sergeants, can you please help our members of the audience? Okay, Mr. Clerk, I would like for council to recess our regular meeting and go into our special meeting. Can you please call the roll?
Very good, Madam President. Blumenfield, Bona, Buscaino, Cedillo, Angler, Harris, Dawson, Weezer, Carrasco, Correa, Martinez, Farrell, Price, Rue, Wesson, 11 members present for our special meeting. That takes us to item number 16. Item 16 is an item for which a public hearing has been held. An Arts, Parks, and River Committee report has been posted and circulated for council's consideration and is now before you.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, public comment has been satisfied on this item. I see no members calling this item special. So let's go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Okay, let's send that forthwith on item 16, and let's go ahead and
Would you like
adjourn
to
our
adjourn?
special meeting and go back to our regular scheduled meeting.
Very good, Madam President. Madam President, there's been two requests actually, to continue or to reconsider two items from yesterday's meetings. That would be item 1R, which is Council File number 16-0160-S965, and item 1S from yesterday's meeting. That is Council File number 16-0160-S966. It's a two-vote matter, the first for reconsideration.
Sure, let's go ahead and open the roll on reconsideration. Are we reconsidering them both together or separately?
Together.
Okay, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Okay, those items are now before us.
It's been requested that they be continued to February 28th. Madam President. That's good.
What are we doing, sir?
There's been a request to continue both items to February 28th.
Without objection? That will be the order.
Very good.
We're going to go ahead and take some cards on public comment. Our first speaker is Juan Alcala. Are you here? What is it? So you filled out a card for 1 and 15, and your 1 minute of general public comment. Go ahead. 1 and 15, Mr. Alcala.
Right. Number 1 relates to the illegal, illicit, immoral, and stupid liens that the city puts upon its people that have already bought a home. I just saw a woman crying this morning because she didn't understand why is her property in danger of getting taken away by the city. She was crying out there, and the black dude that, what's his name, the one that works with those liens, was telling her, "Ma'am, I just gave you some information so that you can do something about this stupid lien." And she's going, "I don't have any information. People are not even understanding what you're giving them. What the hell is wrong with you people? You are real estate moguls just like Donald Trump. Have you ever heard anything so stupid as a billionaire telling the poor people on the streets what to do and taking away their Social Security and whatever they got? How can we have elected a joker so bad that is bent on destroying the world? We need a bigger nuclear arsenal. That's what we need. Exactly what we need. We can only destroy the world 20 times over right now. Let's be able to destroy the world 100 times over. Have you ever heard such a stupid asshole be the president of so-called the most beautiful country in the world? I don't think so. You're all stupid. Totally.
Mr. Alcala, you have your 1 minute of
1 minute to say what the hell I want to say. Well, I say, Wizard, correct, Krikorian, Martinez. Why the hell did you take so much time in the Olympic things if you were going to vote yes anyway? Why did you make the people go through all this ceremony? The Olympics is just simply an expression of racism. That's all it is. Have you ever seen, oh, my country, no, my country, no, my country is the greatest, no, Russia is the greatest. That's what Donald Trump says. Putin should be my boyfriend. What an ugly pair. I was going to run for mayor, but your city stinks. There's homeless people all over the city, and you're looking at the city in a different way. You're a bunch of idiots.
Thank you, Mr. Alcala. The next speaker is Eric Previn. Mr. Previn, are you here? Sir, you filled out cards for items 1 and 15 and your 1 minute of general public comment.
Yeah, you could start me at 0, please. It is Eric Previn from the 2nd District, and I'm running for the mayor of Los Angeles. Mr. Alcala's comments about the liens on properties are accurate, unfortunately. Today, in the more affluent districts, Mr. Kretz's district, he had the wisdom to put 0 liens on his residents today, and in Bonin's district, just 1, and in Mr. Weezar's district, just 1. By contrast, Marquise Harris Dawson today has 6 liens on the people of CD8 who are at $22,000 is the average wage. It is appalling. It is breathtaking. And sitting in the seat of Mr. Fuentes, the CD7 representative who left to be a lobbyist, is Paul Krikorian, rudely during public comment after we sat through a 2-hour presentation, chit-chatting as if nobody is in the room. It's appalling, and he had a very interesting instinct in CD2.
The speaker
rather
is not
than put
speaking to
multiple
either
liens
of
on
the
the
items
property,
that he
he has
signed
put
up for, Madam President.
of $35,000. No, actually, that's not accurate. He's put one lien of $17,000. Mr. Buscaino cleverly put 3 liens amounting to $35,000 perniciously attached to his residence. I find this appalling, and I must tell you, in CD10, where Council President Wesson is holding court, there is not a single lien. So he has favored his folks. That's nice. But in CD7, where he's pretending to be the ruler for them, there's only he's put 4 separate liens on individuals in CD7. This is Pacoima, Sylmar, Mission Hills. These places do not need this kind of help. Thank you very much. And today he stuck on the bulletin board a special one to disenfranchise an entire street.
We're not on special one, sir. We're on items 1 and 15.
Well, you put it on the bulletin board. Fine.
1 and
I mean,
15,
under
then
15, it's item 10. I mean, item 15 is the one where you have your REITs. These are the REITs, rather, where you'll put a little difficulty on a landlord to help people who are getting the landlord to comply. So we do appreciate that. Now for my public comment.
Your 1 minute of public comment.
Sure. I love the Olympics, so this is great news, and I want to just simply say to Angelinos everywhere that, we have all been touched by this incredible process. And I'm looking forward to it, and I think all of the millions of Angelinos would love to win the bid. But if we're going to try with a straight face to be an open-hearted group, I was listening to some of the incredible quotes, to be leaders in so many ways, whatever we pursue to do, and LA is inviting to that. We have to ask ourselves, why has this body, there are 15 council members today, there's only 14 because Fuentes left, but why does this body consistently look away when in broad daylight you violate people like me and other speakers in this hall? Council Rule 93 says that you have to present all of the recognized speakers the same. Today, all those beautiful Olympians appeared, and one of them even spoke eloquently about how touching it was to see in their faces who these Angelinos are. Who are these Angelinos? And why hasn't Council President Wesson heard the cry? And why hasn't Mike Fior or Mayor Garcetti, who made this crazy rule to reduce people?
Thank you, Mr. Previn. Our next speaker is Arnold Sachs. You filled out cards on 1 and 15.
I also filled out a card for public comment. My time is already run. So one refers to the annual inspection costs. So I'm curious. You know what would really work with these annual inspection costs that the city looks to recover in doing these inspections? If they did the same kind of cost analysis you're going to use for the Olympics, involving Hollywood-type financing. Because Hollywood financing, as people who know, everything makes a profit. That way you'd be able to return a profit on all the inspecting that the city does or doesn't do. And I'm wondering, there was inspections for ADA compliant buildings that never occurred. There's supposed to be fire code inspections for ADA compliant building that never occurred. And so the city gets on the hook for a lawsuit, but the city doesn't build the housing. One, is the city council going to vote to go after the nonprofits that built the housing, or when is the city going to go after the people that were supposed to do the inspecting, that built the housing, that wasn't inspected, that's going to cost the public $200 million? Of course, if it's anything like the county, we're only following our orders, which is very similar. People talked about the Olympics in 36 and 30, very similar to the Nazism edict that was issued.
I think we veered off topic.
As given by department heads. When does the city take into account the amount of money that's spent, or the amount of money they get? We know they get money from developers. Why don't they turn that money into spending it to provide some affordable housing for the public?
Thank you, sir.
Public comment?
No, you didn't fill out a card for public comment. I don't have a card for you. Can you go back there and fill one out, please? Thank you. The next speaker is John Walsh. Mr. Walsh, you've filled out a card for 1, 15, and general public comment.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org or J. Walsh Confidential. Always refreshing to speak in front of you, City Councilwoman. Number one, again, this is always number one. These are the building and safety fines. And you do a good job. Remember, you do a good job, and I am the first to congratulate you. I'm not, or you're all Nazis. You're all Nazis. You're not Nazis. I know what Nazis are. They've killed my relatives. HollywoodHighlands.org or J. Walsh Confidential. And then the other number is number 15, and these are rent escrow accounts. This is more about renters. Anybody who's been in other cities knows what a good job LA does on rents. What an excellent job. We have rent control for a very large group of people in the city. You can have back your 52 seconds, and I'll go into my minute. The city attorney is doing an excellent job.
Sir, hold on for just a second. Can we start his clock again? 1 minute. Go ahead.
1 minute. Okay. Deanne O'Connell, we said we'd get him fired. He got fired. And the new city attorney, acting city attorney up here is doing an excellent job, and we would like to thank him. Number one is Measure S. Measure S will, all it will do is quiet down development and keep it out of the Jewish neighborhoods. That's what they want to do. They want to go west of La Brea. They want to go west of La Brea. Measure S bans spot zoning for 2 years. So we're going to get a quieting. All it's going to do is quiet it down. And you scumbags say, oh, it's bad for blacks and Hispanics. Go on any construction site. You won't find any black faces on construction site. And I lived near 2 of them. Racist.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Next speaker is Zuma Dog. You filled out cards for items 1, 15, and general public comment.
Thank you. My name is Zuma Dog, and I'm on the ballot for mayor of Los Angeles March 7th. We have an election coming up. Now, I'm going to address the building and safety nuisance abatement. Okay, now it says for inspection costs. First of all, it's been under FBI investigation, the Building and Safety Department, that has led to conviction for bribe taking. And what happens is people lose properties under these circumstances. And so now I'm going to talk about item number 15, which is the rent escrow program. And this is the most important thing I've discussed. You know, politics, municipal operations, not always fun or interesting. But for the past 10 years, I've spoken about rent escrow. Now, when we see homeless encampments proliferating all over the city, when people can no longer afford to live in homes and they are pushed into the street, it is the first thing that is done toward that goal, the rent escrow. They put a lien on you, and then you can't, even if you comply, they still end up taking your property. It's like Vegas with a marked deck. And then before you know it, they're taking your property away from you, and you don't even know what happened. That's because it's corrupt. You notice how the mafia doesn't have its hooks in the city? That's because it's called LA City Council and Assembly. So they come up to your property, they say you need to fix your fence, you need to make your laundry room wall different, this or that and the other thing, and it never runs out. They're always coming back. Eventually, the bank won't give you loans to do what the city's putting on you, and then you lose the property. And then these properties are the ones that are housing the low-income people. You see, that's the point. They're going after the low-income housing, targeting them, and taking them down. And then Rick Caruso builds his 20-tower skyscraper, and it's all luxury condos. You city council should be ashamed of yourself. This is how you cause the homelessness. You think you got the Paris? You think you got the Olympics? They're not coming here.
You know, when you do that, it makes
Hey, I
it
don't
very
care.
difficult For the translator who's trying to translate. Do not tell me to shut up. I'm just asking you to be respectful. Go ahead and start as 1 minute for general public comment. Yes, Mr. Marquise Harris Johnson?
Interrupting the meeting and speaking far past their time and
I
and
understand
disrespecting
that,
the
but
chair.
I was just reminding him that shouting into the microphone does not help.
And the
Start his
speaker
minute.
is now
Start his
disrupting the
minute.
meeting.
Sir, you're disrupting the meeting. The clock is ticking, sir. Your minute is ticking.
Suit ain't working for you, bro.
The speaker should address his comments to the president or the committee.
Dumb fuck. Now shut up when I'm talking. That's rule number 1. I want a federal lawsuit. And so shut the fuck up. I'm talking here. Now, we got a real problem in the city, you dumb fucks. You sat here and ignored your duty, and you got homeless encampments all on the fucking sidewalk. You can't walk down the street. You're sitting here doing fucking more luxury condos. You're patting yourself on the back about Olympics. You're taking payola from the Dodgers. What the fuck is wrong with you people? You're mad people. Hey.
I've asked you not to shout into the microphone. Thank you very much, sir. Your time is over. You're disrupting the meeting. You're yelling into the microphone. Thank you very much. Mr. Sergeant, can you please escort Mr. Zuma Dog out? Thank you very much. Mr. Harris Dawson, your suit is lovely today. You're welcome. Let's go ahead and vote on item 15, Mr. Clerk. Let's open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
And Madam President, before voting on number 1, there has been a request from the department to continue items 1K, 1J, 1P, and 1S to February 28.
Okay, without objection, that will be the order. Let's move on to item 1N. We have one speaker on 1N, sir. Victoria Amini. Hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Good afternoon, ma'am. You can go ahead and speak on item 1N.
Good afternoon, Madam President. If you'll allow me a moment to get my materials. Madam President, members of the Los Angeles City Council, I stand before you today humiliated and embarrassed to be in appearance for Sambis Moeen Amini and the Sambis Moeen Amini Trust. Dr. Amini is my estranged husband of over 20 years. I was not made aware of this lien until yesterday. We fought over this morning, and he is currently in the hospital at Cedars-Sinai experiencing a cardiac episode for which I would ask for your thoughts and well-being. Although he has lied to the city and not gotten proper permits, I don't wish anybody harm. What I would ask the council to do is to please vote to not put a lien on my property, to allow me to pay the fees at hand.
Hold on for just a second. Mr. Bonin, go ahead.
Madam President, I believe this is in Council District 11, my district. I'm going to be happy to work with you and help resolve this. What we'll do today is continue this for 30 days, so no action will happen today. John from my office will come over and talk to you now, and we'll try to get this sorted out for you.
Thank you, Mr. Bonin.
Thank you, Mr. Bonin. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. So we're going to continue it for 30 days at the request of Mr. Bonin. That puts you at February 24th.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Mr. Clerk, we're going to move on to 1C. There's a one speaker here, Teron Jones. And you're speaking on 1C, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Taryn Jones. It's okay, common mispronunciation.
all my life. I'm here to speak on my home at 1850 West 80th Street. I was informed of a lien on my property only recently. I wasn't aware that there was a lien or that there was any building or safety department issues. I have an addendum that when I bought the house in July of 2013, requesting that the permits be completed, and I also have a form that shows that they were issued in 2012. These permits are not available. I'm not sure what happened with them, but as of now, there is a lien on my property that I'm requesting be removed so that I can do more investigation into finding more information on these permits. I believe I'm in District 8.
Hold for just a second, Ms. Jones. I apologize for mispronouncing your first name. Mr. Harris Dawson?
Be continued and for 30 days.
Okay.
And someone from my team will work with you on the side to help us get this resolved.
Ma'am,
Thank you,
that
sir.
30 days puts you at February 24th.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. The next item, Mr. Clerk, is 1G. And there's one speaker, Juan Gonzalez. Is Mr. Gonzalez here? Do you want to come forward? ¿Necesita traducción, señor? ¿Traducción?
Sí.
Can we have the translator please help us out? Un momentito.
Usted habla aquí y ella va a transmitir, pero haga pausas.
Señor, usted va a hablar en el asunto de 1G. Es el número de la 1G. Por favor, hable el micrófono y yo
No entiendo.
I don't understand.
Usted completó una carta para hablar sobre el tema de 1G.
Sí, yo vine porque tengo una demanda para pagar.
Yes, I came here because I have I need to pay.
De 21,000. No, me olvidé mis lentes.
I don't have my glasses right now. I cannot see the amount.
Right here.
21,471.37 cents.
Y
That's what I owe.
pues necesito tiempo para pagar.
So I need time to pay.
En estos 4 años pagué $19,000 de taxes porque tengo un socio que
In
compré.
these 4 years, I pay for $19,000 in taxes because I have a partner that worked with me.
Ese lo pagué yo, pero él me dijo que iba a pagarme la mitad y no me pagó, entonces yo
I
estoy
paid
atrasado.
$19,000, but he told me that he was going to pay half of it, but he didn't pay half of it, so I'm really a little behind on payments.
Y desde esas fechas me he estado mal con mis pagos, por eso.
Since that time, I'm, doing really bad with my payments, and that's the reason.
Y pues vengo a pedir tiempo para poder pagar esto, porque también tengo 8 años que no trabajé.
So I'm coming here to ask time so I can pay this. It's been 8 years since I have not been working, so.
Me lastimé la mano, el hombro, y la
I
espalda.
had a problem with my hand, my shoulder, my back.
Ok, gracias, señor. Vamos
Y-
a continuar lo vamos a continuar por 30 días, que es hasta el febrero 24 le vamos a dar, ¿ok? If you can just let him know that we're going to continue his item for 30 days, that puts him at February 24th. I'm going to have someone from Council District 15 help him sort this out.
Gracias. Gracias.
Acá está la señorita. A este lado le va a ayudar, señor. Just directing him to staff that's going to help him. Mr. Clerk, let's go ahead and vote on the balance on item 1. Let's open the row, close the row, and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay. Okay, we're going to move on to general public comment. Oscar Mohammed, are you here? Followed by Crystal Bell. and Jacqueline Richardson. Good afternoon, Mr. Mohammed. Go ahead.
Yes, our value has been lost. All programs have been failures. You should end federal funds, remove the homeless off Skid Row, end that Holocaust down on Skid Row, from the slave block to the hood block. We need better leadership in Los Angeles. We should have economic injustice, move economic injustice. We need economic dignity. More Jews have got killed in other nations than any nationalities. And more Jews have got kicked out of other nations, many nations than any nationalities. At the Million Women Protest March in Washington, D.C., McDonald said that the United States White House should be blown up. I guess the majority of the people of the world might agree with that. Illegal immigrants represent slave labor, economic slavery, indecency. The police will come first, the bullets come second, no trial. If we can invite the non-African American Muslim to Islam, we can end racism in America.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Crystal Bell, followed by Jacqueline Richardson.
Hi, I'm just going to read what I have because I'm not very good at this. But my name is Crystal Bell, and I'm honored to have this opportunity to express my grievances in a place where I know things will be heard loud and clear and trust that things will change for the better after this meeting. I would like to thank you in advance. Thank you. I've come here today in order to make you all aware of the gross neglect of one of the oldest shelters here, the Union Rescue Mission. For those of you who don't know, the URM is located at 545 South San Pedro Street, Los Angeles, California, 90013. I only get a minute. It's probably going to be like 2 minutes, though, if it's okay. I don't know. This shelter has been a part of the city's community for over 100 years, a shelter that began with immense integrity and the heart to offer help to the less fortunate without compromising the dignity of the persons requesting help. I truly believe if any of those people who have been there since the beginning came and saw the condition of the URM now, I'm sure they would leave feeling very sad.
Thank you very much. Your minute is over. Thanks. The next speaker is Jacqueline Richardson, followed by Frank Langston and Mary Loya.
The GR check permits a person, any person, anywhere, to get a $200 allowance if they want to work. In other words, if they get their check, and of that they can earn $200. Unfortunately, a few of the supervisors don't allow that $200 allowance. If they get the check and then earn $200, that helps them to get money for laundry, clothes, haircuts, cell phone bills, anything. But somehow they cut that, some supervisors, a few of them will cut that out. That prevents people from helping themselves. If they always allowed that money, they could just eventually work themselves out of GR. $200 may not sound like a lot, but pretty soon they don't want $200 more. They want $300 more, then $400 more, and then they work themselves out of GR. But that preventing that allowance permits people from even trying the second time or the third time. They start taking out food stamps and
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. Next speaker is Frank Langston, followed by Mary Loya and Arnold Sachs.
Good morning, Council. Good morning, Council. I have a referendum that I would like to introduce to you. What I would like to do is recycle this country to social stability, economical stability, educational stability, and eco-stability through giving through recycling. What we do, we recycle responsibly. We recycle everything from a candy wrapper to a refrigerator. We recycle everything. That should produce a lot of revenue, which we could use for schooling, we could use for trade schools, homelessness, and we could help neighborhood clinics and help single mothers and help mothers with children with special needs. We could do that all through recycling. Please give me a few more minutes.
Thank you, sir.
We could do it all through recycling.
Thank you, sir. Your minute is up.
My minute is up.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
I
you
hope
very much for coming. Sir, your minute is up. Thank you. The next speaker is Mary Loya, followed by Arnold Sachs.
Yes, good morning. Yes, well, I'm here because I would like to request a referral to a housing authority officer to whom I can present my concern about 2 units that I own in the city of Los Angeles under rent control. And my property is about to be placed on REAP. So, I requested a continuance because I couldn't go to the hearing that day. I have my copy here, but yet they're thinking about putting it on REAP. So, the reason for that is that I'm evicting a tenant that's like a deadbeat. And, after I get him out, I plan to comply with the city about, some deficiencies on the property. So I'd like to get a referral.
Ma'am, what council district do you live in? Do you know?
I'm sorry?
What council district do you live in? I want to be able to direct you to
the 14th?
The 14th?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe somebody from this young woman right here, to my right, she can help you.
We, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
His staff is, if I can direct you to my right, she will be able to help you with your request.
Okay.
She's right there.
Okay, let me
Thank you
just
very
get my
much.
prayer. Thank you.
You're welcome. Arnold Sachs?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Arnold Sachs. And Madam Chair, you were wrong when you called us up earlier to speak on the items on the agenda. I also signed up for item 14. Although I didn't get a chance to speak, you need to read the names of the people who signed up for that item into the record. So there's a record of those people who didn't get a chance to speak. I think the city attorney, that's the ABC of the city attorney's responsibilities about people who signed up for items and didn't get a chance to speak. And I was just curious if one of the super councilmen, and again, I appreciate Mr. Harris Dawson and his remarks yesterday about if you don't let people build in one place, they're going to build someplace else and make that area unaffordable, which is happening all over the LA city anyway. So I was curious to find out if he was a graduate of the Hilda Solis School of Stupidity, because that's the kind of thing that she might say. Just out of the top of my head. And your Olympic commitment, maybe you could fill the council chambers with homeless people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Sachs. Your time is over. Sergeants, can you please show Mr. Sachs to his seat? Thank you. And if you submitted a card for 14th, it will be in the record. Thank you, sir. Mr. Harris Dawson?
Chair, I rise to speak to a motion that we introduced today under Rule 23 to accomplish 2 goals. One, to prevent findings surrounding a major street closure this morning during rush hour with a situation surrounding 5 dispensaries at one intersection that resulted in a barricaded situation and a hostage situation, which LAPD was able to resolve after several hours and make a few arrests this morning. We want to make findings so that we can put forward a motion to have the city attorney and police department come report back to us on this matter.
Okay, we need to make, we have to have 2 votes.
Yes.
One on the findings, Mr. City Clerk. I'm sorry, City Attorney.
That's correct. There'll be 2 votes. The first is under the findings to see whether they're satisfied. And then we'll take public comment, and if the motion's approved, and then we'll consider the substance.
Very good. So let's go ahead and vote on the findings. Let's go ahead and vote on the findings, Mr. City Clerk.
And Madam President, I should just say that the findings are under Government Code Section 54954.2.
Okay, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
10 ayes.
Okay, we have a
That
few
matter
cards
passes.
on this item as well, Mr. City Clerk. Mary Loya? She's still here? I don't see her. Mary Loya is not in the room. The next speaker is Eric Previn on Special 1.
Candidate for the mayor of Los Angeles. I do not understand why at 3:30 in the morning there was an incident, apparently some gunshots in Mr. Harris Dawson's district. There was an incident. 3 people were taken into custody. And there may be a report, but we have not heard a report, so I'm a little bit confused. I think he's quoting the Public Record Act, which I guess he claims is going to protect them from disclosing what's happening. I don't understand. Is that what's going on, Mr. Fobel? Is there going to be a report? You don't want to respond. Okay, well, the public is interested. Obviously, this is a time when Mr. Wesson has been holding secret meetings about the dispensaries and different kinds of dispensaries, so I'm sure there's a group of dispensaries who he's very unhappy with, and the ordinary Prop D dispensaries I'm sure he's very happy with and working with. I don't know whether or not this is one or the other. I do know that the public likes its meeting items agendized so that people can know what's happening. Obviously, thank God nobody was injured in this, and thank God for LAPD who were able to show up on a call. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That concludes public comment on this item. I don't have any more cards. I'm sorry. Gentlemen, you know the rules. I have no cards that are coming up. Hold on for just a second, Mr. Walsh. Let me get this cleared away. Hold on for just a second. Well, the machine seems to be working fine for Mr. Previn, but I'm going to go ahead and allow Mr. Walsh to come up and give him a minute. And Mr. Sachs, you can have your minute as well. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
There doesn't seem to be any problem with the machine. I just want to reinstate that. Go ahead, Mr. Walsh. Go ahead.
You're always fair. Let the record show that you voted and said the vote was 10-0 to hear this item. There were only 7 people sitting in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 2 other people here. But you voted. 7 people were at the desk, or 8. And, and then 2 mystery people showed up. Your votes here, the machines worked pretty well for a while. Now they seem to have learned the lesson. 7 people voted or 8 people voted, and you counted 10.
Okay. Mr. Sachs on Special 1.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Arnold Sachs. And I'm concerned. Part of this special item refers to the fact that these are illegal dispensaries that are located in the area that LAPD was on patrol. So I'm wondering, if LAPD is on patrol and this area is saturated with illegal dispensaries, wouldn't LAPD know that the dispensaries are illegal? It somewhat reminds me of an incident. I used to ride the Blue Line to downtown Los Angeles. And to go down the Blue Line and over by Florence Station, there's somebody wrote in graffiti, "Fuck LAPD, fuck the sheriffs." Took 3 months for that to be erased. All the city employees, all the metro employees, everybody who rode the Blue Line, 3 months for that graffiti to be erased. So LAPD is patrolling the area, and yet nobody knows about illegal dispensaries. That's a real problem right there.
Okay, thank you. Now that concludes public comment on Special 1. Mr. Harris Dawson, did you want to close? Let's go ahead and vote on this item on Special 1. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay, item passed.
Madam President, Council has motions for posting and referral.
Okay, posted and referred.
The desk is
Members,
clear.
any announcements? Seeing none, can we all rise for adjourning motions? Oh, there's one announcement, Mr. Bonin. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll start T Committee 15 minutes late today.
Okay, 15 minutes late for T Committee. Thank you, Mr. Bonin. Any adjourning motions to my left? Mr. Harris Dawson?
So much, Madam Chair and members. I ask that we adjourn in the memory of John Albert Davis, Ph.D., the former assistant clinical professor of medical education at the Keck School of Medicine of USC. Died on January 13th at the age of 82. He attended both Los Angeles Community College and UCLA on athletic scholarships. He finished his doctorate in sociology in 1971 and taught at Berkeley and UCLA before joining the faculty at Loyola Marymount University, where he founded its Department of African American Studies. Dr. Davis joined the Keck School of Medicine in 1968 and left a lasting mark on both the school and the lives of thousands of young people by establishing a nationally recognized program which boosted the number of minorities in the biomedical sciences called MedCorps. He remained in charge of MedCorps up until 2010. His commitment to diversifying institutions of higher education was born of his own experience at UCLA in the 1960s, and prior to that, with a run-in with the Ku Klux Klan in his hometown of LaGrange, Georgia. As a result, John involved himself in civil rights organizations that connected the persistent theme of underrepresentation of minority students on college campuses to the underrepresentation of minorities in many professions, including medicine. MedCorps wasn't his only project to improve the numbers of minorities who went to college and specialized in the sciences. He co-founded Young Black Scholars, a program that I participated in as a middle schooler in high school, and the Black Male Achievement Project, the Los Angeles Sports Academy at Audubon High School. He's also the founder of For Brothers Only, an organization to provide mentors for African American college students and early professionals at LMU. We're grateful for his unwavering service to the students at Loyola and throughout the community, and the university will establish a Dr. John A. Davis Memorial Scholarship in his memory. He is survived by his wife, Mamie Davis, after he married a second time. His first wife was Judith Davis. He is succeeded by 3 children, Gregory, Deanna, and Keith, and 8 grandchildren. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris Dawson. Any other adjourning motions? Seeing none, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
But it's a large part about us.
It is.
And our relationship with the dog.
It is,
Gotcha.
in many, many instances.
Right.
And then you have the military dogs and you have the police dogs who, you know, they actually tap into that natural instinct, you know, and they actually teach them properly how to control those instincts, you know, and learn how to discern what is a real threat and what isn't.
Okay.
They're trained,
Okay.
you know, and it's a natural thing to do.
Okay. But they don't have to do that.
No,
they don't have to
they
protect.
don't have to.
Okay.
They don't have to. And we're going to go see cats.
Okay.
Now, if you are serious about adopting an animal, please educate yourself and your family before you do so. And I'm standing in front of these wonderful posters that they have in most of the shelters about how to introduce a dog to your kids, how not to do it, and the body language of dogs. And it's just important to know what you're getting into. So please do that before you adopt and before you start looking, so that you'll feel empowered to be looking at the right things and keeping your kids and other family members educated about what's going on. Also, I did want to mention, if you want to help rescue animals or save animals, but your situation isn't that you can't adopt or foster, you can volunteer. LAAnimalservices.com. They have a great volunteer program, and all the shelters need volunteers. You can also donate. They need things like dog beds, especially the plastic ones. They're called Corunda dog beds. They need blankets and newspapers and dog food, cat food, treats, toys, all those kinds of things they need at the shelters. So there's all kinds of ways to help. And remember, empower yourself, educate yourself, and please help us save lives.
Okay, I'm with Michelle, who works at the West Valley Animal Shelter with the cats, and I'm going to give her the microphone so she can tell you about the beauties we're looking at.